Damn, I hate that. I was talking for 3 minutes and I didn't hit the go live button. Sorry, guys. What's up? Let me start this over. What's up, JM, Art, Lord, Spike Protein, and Unbroken? Hope everything comes out all right for you. I got to call, what's his name? Thomas Toups. He wants to come on the show, talk some stuff. Let me see here. I got to get the, how do you invite people on here? Get an invite. That's where it is. Not much. Here we go. What's up, Joseph? There's if anyone wants to pop up and say howdy or whatnot, there's the link down there. Put it right there for y'all. So what y'all want to talk about? Art, what's up? You guys left Tiger's Stackers stream to come over here. I appreciate it. He had a lot of familiar names. Hoping one day Ninja will stop by like he did like a month ago. Oh, sweet, Joseph. Graded. Yeah, there's lots of different thought processes on precious metals, and there's different sectors that you can buy and sell from that will always be there. Not everyone agrees with whatever your perspective on whatever it is you're getting and for whatever your reasons are. So don't let that hold you off on getting things that you want for whatever your reasons are. Every now and then I've been known to pick up like was it Michael's Shield 2-ounce coin? It wasn't really a coin shape. It was a numismatic. I'm not big in numismatics, but it was a cool ass coin, so I got it. So yeah, a lot of people will say, "Oh, graded and whatnot." Don't let them bite you down on that, man. It doesn't matter. You get what you do, you, and be proud and happy about it, and I'm happy for you being you. Graded is good. There's a big classification actually. If for those people that are really in the coin industry, graded coins. If you go buy just regular Eagles somewhere, the coin show or something. Nah, probably not a coin show. You buy it like online somewhere. Is Gandalf the Grey? He's fixing to leave because he doesn't like smoke. Watch him run. You get like garage sales or estate sales. You buy some coins, you have them graded. You can greatly increase the value of that coin with that grading. So there is a sector of the PM numismatic type peoples that pay real good for that kind of stuff, and it's good to do. I personally don't do that, but I'm not. That's neither here nor there. It's irrelevant. I'm happy that you're getting what you want, and you're happy with what you got. There you go. There you go. Even better. It's free silver. But yeah, but that's my feeling graded. It doesn't, everyone's got. There's so many levels to this industry. You got the numismatic, you got the graded, you got the ancient coins, and then you just got the silver, gold, stuff. I personally am looking still for the any year from 1825 to 1845, the Russian platinum coin that was used as currency. But collectors are really looking for those, and I'm sure as they get them, they don't let them go because I haven't found one. So, but I'm not into that kind of thing. But I'm into platinum, so that's why I want it, because it was a currency, and I'd love to be able to say, see this, it's Russian currency. Hey, what's up, Electrical Prepper? But that again, it's a personal choice, depending on who, what, where, why. But as long as you have some, it's about having assets. I could compare it to artwork. I can't stand. Hey, what's up, William? I can't stand artwork. A lot of artwork, like a lot of this Picasso's and stuff that go for millions of dollars. I look at it and I'm like, man, I know kindergartners could do better than that. I don't get the concept of it, but still people store value. It's a store of value. They store their wealth in it. My understanding's irrelevant, so it's a perfect analogy for how I feel about the metals. There's lots of ways to store it, it's whatever makes you happy. What's up? Try again. And what the year and grade it is? 2003 American graded MS-69. I don't know too much about it. I do know the higher the grade, I think it goes up to like 72 or 71 or something like that. Not sure 100%, but yeah, I hear the higher the grade is the better. Again, that's why, like, if you go to estate sales or yard sales or garage sales or what is it, flea markets, stuff like that, and get coins, and you pick them up, have them graded. You could increase the value of that coin by having it graded. I mean, not all of them by any means, but the nicer ones have graded. You know, if you see a scratch or something, don't bother with it, obviously, you know, but if it looks perfect to you, send it off. You might get a grading of 69 or 70, which will make it more valuable to the right genre of precious metals people. And there's all the genres are out there, so it's not unfeasible at all to gain wealth. Let me call Thomas Toups. Thomas Toups wanted to come on tonight and tell you people about some ways that he has done in the past. It takes a while to build up the relationships, but it's the way that he's used to actually make money and get gold and silver under spot price. He refuses to use his computer, so he told me to call him. So I'm gonna have to call him and put the phone up here, and he'll explain to you his way of doing things. Let me know, you guys, if you can hear this. We could be discussing side gigs. Yes, this is what Thomas has going as a side gig for getting gold and silver cheaper than spot price if he answers the phone. I called him earlier.
Good evening.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me see. Can you guys hear him? Say something, Tom.
Hey, well, good to hear from you. I didn't know you tried to call me earlier. My phone didn't ring.
Can you guys hear him on the chat? Or am I holding the phone in the wrong spot? If anyone can answer me, I'd appreciate it.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can hear you fine.
Okay, Art Collector says the sound quality is bad. Let me see if I can't turn up my volume here. Okay, try that, Thomas.
How is it now?
Can you guys hear that better?
Can you guys hear me?
It's better than a dial-up in 97, Electrical Prepper says.
Well, that's something, isn't
it? Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Everybody's saying it's good, it's better.
Yeah. Everyone says they can hear you.
Yes, I can hear him.
All right, so I guess the phone thing will work. There's a fallback to 1980s communication across the country, tied in with 21st century communications, guys. I got Thomas on the phone. Got the phone up near the computer so he can talk and you guys can hear him. And he's going to go through and tell you how he gets gold and silver and the relationships he built to be able to get gold and silver under spot. And the floor is
yours. And, I'm sorry for the communication. I used to have this computer set up for audio over Skype and for
video. Don't worry about it, bro. Video. It's working now.
But,
so
yeah, I was doing a regular radio show a couple of years ago, and when we stopped doing that, I just removed all of that from the computer, so I'm not optimally set up for that right now.
And I just wanted to let the audience know in case they don't see you on the screen, because on StreamYard, usually when you have another person, you have a second box with them. So I was explaining to people why they don't see you. Or a box.
And I see the Wealth of Nations just came into the chat.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you doing?
Maybe I can. Hello, Tuli. Maybe I can get Tuli up here and show her face for once. Tuli. Yep. Look, I'm seeing you, Tuli. Yep. I know she won't come up here. But thank you for being here, Tuli. You know I like messing with you. Maybe Wealth will come up here. All right, I'll keep an eye out for if anyone pops up to come up here on the video. You go ahead, Thomas.
Okay, well, Neil, as we were discussing earlier, I think you had asked me to share some of my tactics for getting gold and silver at below spot prices. And this is something I've been doing since my childhood. As an interesting little anecdote, when I was quite small, I'm talking about going back to the mid to late 60s.
Was this 1660s? Just kidding. Just kidding. 1660s?
1860s.
Oh, okay. I was just having fun with you, Thomas.
No, but back in the 1960s, my dad worked in the savings and loan, and he used to buy $1,000 bags of change, bring them home, and dump it all out on his bed, and have myself and my younger sister go through that pile of coins to pick out all the silver. And, then he'd return another $1,000 in coins that would pick through and get another bag. And we did that for quite some time. And that was my first exposure to precious metals. Now, since then, again, when I was a kid, I was an avid coin collector. And then I kind of left the numismatics behind and became strictly interested in bullion, which I'm still interested in today. And over the years, I came up with several tactics that helped me to accumulate silver and gold far cheaper than I would buying it at a dealer. And, I'm willing to share some of that with your audience tonight.
Oh, most definitely. As long as it doesn't include a gun or running from the cops while you're trying to do it, it's all fucking good. I'm having fun. I'm just making a bad joke.
That depends on your risk tolerance.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, it also, I'd imagine, depending on who you're talking to and trying to develop the relationship first to get to the point where you can get into their bag of holding of sorts to be able to do the operation that you're going to be telling people about. Sorry for
that. Well, that's one of the things I'm going to talk about. How to use jewelers and coin shops to get inexpensive metals.
And that's what I'm wanting these guys to hear about.
But the other thing that I suggest people do, which is absolutely free, some of it may cost a few bucks, but it's either free or near free, is to become your own vest pocket dealer. So, for instance, you can put absolutely free ads on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, and some of the free shoppers papers out there, and offer to buy silver and gold. And when I put those ads out, I always identify myself as a private collector, which is true. And I will use phrases like highest prices paid, or I pay more than pawn shops or coin shops. And, people aren't knocking down my door to respond to that ad, but I usually get a few good hits every month. So what I will do is keep tabs on what area coin shops and pawn shops are paying for gold and silver, and then I will adjust my prices, a percent or two higher than what they pay, and still going to be far less than the spot price. So that is tactic number one to pick up cheaper than spot gold and silver. So, do you have any questions about that?
Well, I actually have a friend over in Cheshire, England. He goes to estate sales and stuff, and he over there's a lot of regal, old school money, and they have coin collections and whatnot, and their younger inheritance seeking crowd isn't as aware of the true value of it. So my friend, he
you can do that here as well.
Yeah, I'm just the experience I have is through him, and it's only through England. Yeah, you could do it anywhere, but he buys the whole lot instead of the people getting the inheritance going through individual coins, looking for individual value, looking for that one. That, like I was talking earlier in the stream with someone about getting your coins graded and how you can increase the value of them. The at the time of death and inheritance, people don't want to deal with that, so they bulk sell it. So my friend comes in and he'll bulk buy it, and it can make a lot of money by going through all of the stuff needed to, like, he'll go through and look at them at first, the ones that he believes need to be graded, that could be upgraded in value by getting the grade, he'll set them aside and have them
Yes.
graded. But the others, obvious ones that won't turn out good, he'll just sell at a little bit above spot and make money because of premium and whatnot. And he usually gets it below spot because he buys it in bulk from the people. And
well, that's often true. And another thing you can do, although this is a wild card exercise, I'm sure you've seen these self-storage places that auction off the contents of a locker when people don't pay their monthly rent, right?
I know an owner
Now,
of a couple.
I don't do this personally, but I know of people who have bought the contents of the storage units and found coin collections in them, or bags of silver coins.
Or Harley Davidson.
It's a wild shot, but it does happen sometimes.
Yeah. No, I know a guy who actually I know a few people that own several businesses that do that. They self-storage units. They got into it in the end of last millennium, stating because the government always puts out statistics, perceived 20-year advanced what businesses will do good and whatnot, blah blah blah. And back at the turn of the millennium, the government had put out that storage units were going to be the big thing by the 2020s. So a lot of people, well, not a lot, but several people I know bought a lot of storage units, and now they're getting paid off big time because, well, the government's forecast that they put out 20 years ago is pretty much spot on. But they do that all the time. And that's another way you can look for financial advantage, is look at that.
Well, another thing I want to point out is that first, everyone who's interested in this needs to buy a few inexpensive tools. You should buy a 10-power jeweler's loop, and you can find those on eBay for less than $10. You should buy a very finely calibrated scale, and I don't mean an electronic scale. I like the balance beam type scales. If you can find a reloading scale for guys who reload their own ammunition, those are already calibrated in grains. And grains is something that is sometimes used in the precious metal field. And another thing you can buy, which is inexpensive, is an acid testing kit that will have different strengths of acid to test. 9-karat gold, 14-karat, 18-karat, etc., up to 24-karat. And those are easy to use. They'll have a little touchstone that you rub the jewelry on, and then you apply the acid. And at a certain point, the different strengths of acid will no longer dissolve the gold, and then you know what you've got. It's very safe as long as you don't spill the acid on yourself, because it can burn you and obviously ruin your clothes. But those are very inexpensive. Scales are inexpensive. The jeweler's loop is inexpensive. You're not talking about a lot of money. I mean, you can set yourself up in business and have all those tools for about $30. And to be honest, if you can't afford $30, you should be dealing with gold and silver.
Yeah.
But when you've got, go ahead, man.
No, that's true. I mean, it doesn't take much to get into the silver market, but it does take about $25 to $30. So.
And then once you've got your 10-power jeweler's loop, I try to make a point to always keep that in my pocket. I know some people wear it on a chain around their neck, and that's so you don't lose it, because you're going to find you need that thing at the most unexpected time. So, for instance, you might be driving down the road and decide to stop into a thrift store, or a Salvation Army, or a Goodwill, or any of those types of secondhand stores. And you would be surprised how often you can find real gold, sometimes real silver in those stores.
Not only that, you can find, if you go to those places that you just mentioned, you can also find some real nice clothing. I found a pure leather jacket at a thrift store one time, cost me $15. It turned out to be a $300 leather jacket. So there's other deals as well there. Don't be closed-minded.
Sure.
Don't be closed-minded, when you get there is all I'm saying, because there could be some really good deals.
Once you get that trader's mindset, you'll almost subconsciously yourself to look for those kind of deals.
Yeah.
Now, most of the big thrift stores, they actually have employees who go through the donated jewelry to try to separate the costume jewelry from the real precious metals my experience, they miss a lot of it. Okay, they're not familiar with all the hallmarks. They never test it, so they do sort out most of the costume jewelry. But every once in a while, real jewelry makes its way through into their little display cases. So you can pick up something that's it's listed for $1 to $10, and it turns out that it's worth 100 to 200. So always bring that little jeweler's loop with you.
I got something I need to answer. Vivian P says, "What do you do with old phones? Sell them?" And question mark where, or melt the gold out of them? We have lots over the years. What I would suggest to that is now is not the best optimum time to do that. It will be coming up in the next couple of years. I would hold on to that stuff and old TVs and other things that have silver stuff in them, and wait till the first companies open up that do recycling of silver and gold, and sell it to them, and you'll probably get more money with less hassle. Sorry about that, Thomas. I just saw that comment and I wanted
No,
to
that's
get
fine.
that.
That's actually something I've never done. That's kind of a subspecialty that I don't have any expertise in.
Well,
I'm aware of the phenomena, and I know people do go through computers and phones and all sorts of electronics to salvage the precious metal, but I've never done that.
I have an aunt that, well, not no longer. She passed away. She got staph infection. She had the last 10 years of her life, and my cousin, they got donated, old computers and stuff, and they'd break them down, get the gold and silver out of them. And that's where she died of staph infection. Little poke in the skin, didn't take care of it. Boom, a couple weeks later, she was dead.
Right.
So that's why I say don't recycle it, Vivian, yourself, because there are hazards that you might not even consider a hazard. A little poke could actually kill you, because when you're dealing with electronics, they use solder and other chemical based stuff when you're working with that could have an adverse effect. And it's possible if you don't take care of yourself, it could kill you. It happened to my
well, Neil, I know that you have a blue collar background, being an iron worker. I don't know what else you've done besides that, but myself, I also have a blue collar background. I was a commercial diver, and I've done a lot of other simple manual labor jobs in my life. And over those decades, you get a good foundation in industrial safety, with regard to chemicals and protective eyewear, protective gloves, that sort of thing. So I think people like you and I would have a leg up when it came to trying to get into all computers and electronics. Somebody who doesn't have that sort of background might want to read up on industrial safety.
Yeah,
so
I'm a trained safety coordinator in the iron workers, so I know a lot about the chemical safety and all that other stuff.
Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but and you are right. People are not aware of what's out there that you could actually get injured from.
But I want to get away from that, because I don't have a background in it. You don't have a background in it, salvaging precious metals.
Yeah, I just wanted to answer that one question. You can get back with what you were saying. I just didn't want Vivian to think I was ignoring her. We're not trying to answer a question, because I do try and answer everyone's questions as best to my ability.
But, another thing, and this might seem counterintuitive, but you can acquire gold and silver and or make a little money through coin shops and pawn shops. Okay? And, people might ask, well, coin shop is a precious metal dealer, basically. How are you going to make any money from them? Well, there is a way. And in my experience, I found that coin shop people don't usually know a lot about jewelry. And of course, jewelry stores, for the most part, don't know a lot about coins. Now, pawn shops may or may not know a lot about either or both of those things. But when precious metals markets get hot, you'll see these I buy gold stores pop up in every strip mall in town.
And well, they're taking advantage of what you said to do.
What?
They're taking advantage of what you said to do.
Right. Yeah. Well, coin shops will start doing it.
Yeah.
Coin shops will all of a sudden put out, these big signs, I buy gold, right? So again, those people are primarily coin dealers. They don't necessarily have any expertise in jewelry. And usually what they buy, what comes across the counter, goes into a melt pot or just a box of miscellaneous stuff that they've bought. Now, what I'm going to explain now requires that you establish a rapport and a relationship with the shop you deal with. Don't just walk in cold off the street and expect what I'm going to explain to work.
Yeah, that's where I said earlier, you have to build a relationship to be able to do this type of thing, but it is a good relationship to build, and it's a valuable one to have.
So if you, for instance, I'm going to use the example of a coin store or coin shop. So you've established a rapport with them. You've done a little business with them. You've had conversations with them. Maybe you've given them your business card. So they have a good feeling for who you are. And at some point, you can explain that you'd like to go through their melt pot or their melt box to see if there's anything you're interested in buying. And the reason you do that is as follows. The coin shops and even jewelry stores, they will acquire a lot of miscellaneous gold jewelry. And at some point, when they've accumulated enough of it, they will ship it to a refiner. And the refiner will then cut them a check. Okay?
All right.
But it costs them a little money to do all that. It costs them some money in the time of jewelry just sitting in a box. It costs them shipping expenses to send it to the refiner. And of course, the refiner has to make their cut, which is all well and good. But if you offer the coin shop the following deal, you tell them that any pieces of jewelry you're interested in, you'll pay them full spot, or perhaps spot and a percentage or two. They are going to make more money from you than they will from the refiner. Okay? And if you have an eye for jewelry, you can often tell that what's in their melt box, certain pieces have more jewelry value than merely their precious metals value.
And that's
Does that
because
make sense so far?
that's because jewelry generally has a 300% markup, and they'd be looking at it for mere weight of the metal itself. And you're saying you could pick it up because of the intrinsic value of the art of the jewelry part of it. You could pick it up at near a spot price and then get that retail advantage, but not mark it up
Exactly.
by 300, but mark it up like 100 and still get that advantage that is there in the jewelry market. Of the
Now, I
300%.
shared one of my favorite anecdotes with you when we spoke earlier, but for the benefit of your audience, I'll go over it again. And it's just a fun little story. I did this was way back when I lived in Johannesburg, South Africa. And I had a little routine with the different coin shops where I went to what I've just explained. And I was in one of them one day and saw this gorgeous antique 18-karat lion's head ring. You know, man's ring, big and heavy, probably weighed about a third of an ounce. And it was obviously Victorian era. It had two little rose-cut diamonds for eyes. And it was just a gorgeous piece. I don't know why, but I was taken with it, so I bought it. It probably cost me, I don't know, $125, $150.
And that was out of the melt pot of the coin shop?
Yeah,
okay.
coin shop.
Okay.
And so obviously they had paid, whoever the customer was, they had paid them minus a certain percentage across the counter. And I bought it, the spot value plus a little bit, right? And I liked the ring. I wasn't even thinking about making a profit on it. I just wanted that ring, and I actually wore it for many months. So I was having a business luncheon with a friend of mine and one of his associates. And throughout lunch, I noticed this guy kept looking at my hand, which made me feel a little unnerved at first. But eventually he said, pardon me, I love your ring. Can I see it? So I extended my hand and let him look at the ring. And he said, my birth sign is Leo. He said, I know this is probably going to sound rude, but I want to buy that ring from you. And I told the man, I said, well, to be honest, I'm not really interested in selling it. I said, I just bought it because I thought it was cool, and I enjoy wearing it.
imagine.
you know,
I imagine that kind of profit margin. Heck yeah.
and so little deals like that with jewelry that you buy, coin shop, don't pot, it can make you a little bit of money. And otherwise, even if you're not reselling it, it will increase your gold stack.
I got one favor to ask you, everybody. This is Thomas Toups. I'm calling him Doc because that's what he goes by, but his name on YouTube is Thomas Toups. Can I get you to do me a favor, Doc?
Sure. What is it?
Can you say, and now for the rest of the story?
And the rest of the story.
Sounds almost exact. I knew you could do it. Sound like Paul Harvey. And now the rest of the story. You got a good voice, man. I can see why you were on radio.
Oh, thank you, sir. Let's go with some other little tactics and strategies.
Go for it, brother.
Okay, stand by. I need some notes from here.
Or you can say, okay, now for the rest of the story. Oh, sorry.
But work very well in jewelry stores because the jewelry guys are experts in jewelry.
But
right?
now where it would work is if they got an older coin from a foreign country, that's unrecognizable, that they only got for the melt value. If you recognize, and again, you have to be in that genre of the business of precious metals coinage to understand the value of older coins. But if you did that, you could. Sorry, Thomas, I didn't mean to jump the gun. Sorry.
No, you're right. That's the point I was going to make. That ring I bought, probably that opportunity would have never occurred if I was at a jewelry store, because the jewelry guys understand jewelry.
They would have already marked it up and put it out for sale. Yeah. I see my local coin shop guy here because I live in the first town in America that went bankrupt, and we're on the edge of doing it again. So a lot of people are coming up with things. I'll just say that. And they go in and sell it to him. And so he puts on his scale after he finds out what, 12 karat, 16, 18, whatever. And he gives them a price always under spot price for the metal.
Of course it would be.
And I see him doing that. And I'm thinking to myself, and with the same thing you just said, but I'm thinking to myself, there's nothing nice has come by yet. And quite frankly, a lot of the people seem semi-unscrupulous, and I don't want to buy stolen goods, let them get melted down and the crime covered up at that point in time. I don't want to be a part of it.
Well, some of the pawn shops are notorious for that.
Yeah, so you do have to watch. You have to watch out for that because you could get yourself involved in a little something.
I worked at a pawn shop in Houston, and they were kind of on the shady side.
Yeah, that's where you got to watch who you build the relationships with. Is what I was trying to convey.
Right. Was known for buying stolen goods, right?
Mm-hmm.
So behind the counter in the back room, they had a crucible that they turned on at the beginning of every workday and turned off when they left. And when shady people came in to sell golden items, it went straight into that melt pot, which was, it was melted, right? So they would buy it, take it in the back, and went straight to that pot of melted gold. My friend said one time a gold Rolex came in, and I'm sure you have an idea of how expensive those are, right?
Oh, well, depending. They're in cycles. Ninja's actually talked about that. They run in cycles for expense too. And it goes back to what Lynette Zhang says about the economic cycles and values of them being fairly over and undervalued. The same thing happens with Rolexes. It was Rolex we said. You can buy them for like $4,000 to the low cycle and resell them, but you got to hold it for 10, 15 years and sell it for 4 or 5 times as much just from holding on to it.
The story is my friend saw this gold Rolex come in, and they did the acid test. They, knew it was gold, it was authentic, and a couple of ghetto type dudes came in to sell that watch. And so the owner bought the watch, took it straight into the back room, and dumped it in that crucible with the melted gold.
Yeah.
And that's how he
disposed
of stolen items, possibly stolen items.
that is why, that reason is probably the biggest reason why they give such a low price at those type of stores for it, because that stuff does go on, and that's where the opportunity lies for the rest of us, is between the lines of those two, the legal and the illegal one. Because the reason why people sell so low is because of that exact thing. It'll get taken care of quickly, and you lose value for convenience, and that's where a prosperous individual could step in and, like you said, make profit off of it.
Absolutely. I get a question from Unbroken 1010. He or she said no pawn shops and jewelry stores have to maintain the visual record of what they buy from walk-ins.
Only if.
Buying.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
That I know of from the federal standpoint. If it's anything that could be considered an item that you could identify as a stolen or object, like a Rolex, a pin, a brooch, stuff like that, yes. Coins, I think, is a lesser amount of time, because there's so many of them and they all look the same as far as your sovereign coins. The American Eagle looks like American Eagle no matter where it came from, and they're not serial numbered and stuff like that, so you can't identify a coin to a person. So there's different legislation on that over things that can be identifiable, such as Rolex that have serial numbers on them and stuff like that. And on those, they have to hold them for like 30. Yes, yes, that's the next point. On a federal level, you have to do a certain thing, but on a state level, they get either harsher or just let it ride on the federal law, or they lighten up the federal law. Over in Hawaii, they lighten up on the federal law.
So the shady pawn shop operator I referenced earlier, like I said, he would immediately take anything that was on the dicey side and just put it right into the milk pot.
Yeah, get rid of it. So that no questions asked.
Yeah, so it could not be identified.
Yep.
So that's a good thing.
Oh,
story yeah. Was told by a friend who worked in a pawn shop.
It's American. It's business in that trade. There are good, there are bad, there are neutral businesses in everything, and business works that way. They don't teach that in college, but that's how it is. And the price of goods and commodities vary because of such activities at the same time.
I'm going to go shortly. I'm actually expecting a call from my sister who's out of state.
Not a problem.
One thing I wanted to explain before I go is that after you talk to enough people at coin shops and jewelry stores and pawn shops, you're going to realize that they have different areas of expertise. For instance, I have a friend locally who owns a pawn shop, and he'll pawn anything, like most pawn shops will, but he doesn't know a whole lot about guns. So several times I've been in there, I've gotten a really good deal on a gun because he didn't know what it was, or I'd help him to identify what the gun was and give him a rough approximation of what I thought it was worth.
Yeah.
And so I've done that for so long, we've done enough business together that now he lets me come up behind the counter to look at anything I want to, right?
Yeah, it all has to do with. It has to do with serial numbers for value. When it comes to gun collectors, the older weapons, it comes to a serial number and ownership. Whoever might have owned the weapon, and you determine that by the serial number. So yeah,
well, sure, that goes into. But my point was, different pawn shop owners will have different areas of expertise.
Yeah.
So you go into a pawn shop. Let's say the pawn shop owner is a camera fanatic, right? Well, you can't expect to walk out with a really good deal on a camera because you'll probably know more about cameras than you do.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. But you probably walk out of it with some good mechanics tools real cheap.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you got to watch who you go to, and that comes to building the relationship. You find out, what, and this is why you have to learn something new every day and do something to improve your life every day. Getting to know people is improving your life for the opportunity and advantages that could be provided to you by knowing these certain individuals, and you can't do it unless you go out there and make that change and get to know these people. That's I'm a big advocate of that, because then you're into being in the kind, helpful, and grateful thing by just getting to know people, because then you can be a facilitator to others as you're gaining this knowledge of who knows most about what, say like example you just gave about cameras, and then one of your good friends comes to you and needs to, get rid of his camera equipment for whatever reason, you can send him to the right person and he won't get screwed over on price. So you can facilitate as you gain knowledge. And that's where I say grateful and kind and helpful part of it. Sorry, I go
Brother Neil, I enjoyed being on your show. I hope your listeners got some value out of it. And with that, I'm going to have to tell you adieu.
Not a problem. Appreciate you. Appreciate you being here. I'm going to go ahead and cut this phone off. And
wait, hold on. Don't cut him off yet. There was a question for Thomas.
Okay, Thomas, you hear that?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
The question was posed by Thule, but I suspect other people have the same question. And that is, are you on any social media platforms, or is there any way that people wanted to connect with you can connect with you other than directly through Neil?
PaulHarvey.com.
Okay.
Actually, I no social media presence at all.
Yes, he does. He's on the Neil's Han Dynasty. He's in the Han Dynasty.
Well, yeah, I suppose you can get in touch with me through Neil. But other than that, I don't have a website. I don't have any social media presence.
Okay. That was the question.
Yeah, I actually wrote no. I didn't know if anyone caught that. To that question.
All right, guys. Like I said, I'm going to go. I'm waiting for a phone call from sister.
All right.
Talk to you later, Neil. Thanks.
All right. Take care. Feed the gators for me. Talk to you later, Thomas. I told him I'd fuck with him about the gator thing because he's in southern Louisiana. And that's what I do to people who live in southern Louisiana. I fuck with them.
That's gator country.
Very much so. Very much so. Oh, and to the point of Tiger Stacker, going back to who most people were on his live stream before they came here, he was talking about power outages, all this other stuff, and how crypto will be no good. And I actually believe that is 100% true. But there's a flip side to that coin. The flip side to that coin is if you do have the crypto that will make it through, which is only going to be about 10 out of the 10,000, so choose wisely. If your crypto does still maintain its value after the EMP or whatever, because the companies with legitimacy will not go away. They will stay. They will just have to, regroup or whatnot. The illegitimate Ponzi ones will be wiped out. But to the point of the EMP thing, I have this. It is a nano ledger. And this right here, $500. I'm going to be buying $500 of XLM because I do what I say. And I said that XLM is a good buy because it's on the crypto markets. But in my opinion, it's not a crypto because it has a government contract with the Treasury Department. So not the Federal Reserve, but the Treasury Department to help manufacture a federal type coin to be used. Not a CDBC because that is illegal. But I find that if you purchase a crypto and you believe in it enough, and I'm not a crypto advocate, and I don't think XLM is a crypto, and I don't think XRP is a crypto. They are something other than crypto. They're just getting put into it. I think if you have it stored on one of these in a Faraday bag, after things come back up, you pull this out, you'll still have it, but that's about the only way you'll be able to keep it. So crypto could be kept through an EMP, but again, most people don't have patience for investments to pay off, and don't think that waiting 2 to 3 years or however long you'd have to wait for a grid to come back up and systems to go back to normal for you to prove ownership, because everyone's about proof of ownership, and when an EMP call comes, proof of ownership's out the window for 95% of people out there, because we don't, like even stock market, because we don't have physical paper showing we own it. And if all your computer crap gets wiped out, so does all your evidence that you own it. So even stocks are at risk at that point in time, but you can't put stocks on a separate ledger, because I looked at that as well, because there are a couple stocks I'd like to have done that with, but you can't do that. All right, sorry. But I did watch Tiger's show, and this is a shout out to his show. He had good information and a good guest on his show tonight. I liked it. Although he didn't answer my question, maybe some of you guys will know. Is his tiger, it looks like a Bengal. Is his tiger impression, the artwork he have, based on a Siberian or a Bengal? It looks like a Bengal, but
I don't know for sure, but like if it's a poll question, I would say it's likely a Bengal, because I thought the Siberian tended to be lighter and like more like white.
Well, they're not as uniform in the patterns on the forehead either. And that one was semi-uniform more so, and it just had that Bengal appearance to it. But I was hoping to get some confirmation. I'm a big tiger guy, so
I'm sure.
I've
I'm
played
sure.
with them before.
I'm sure if you went back onto that premiere or on any of his videos and just put a comment in there asking the question, that he'd get back to you. I think sometimes when people are live, it's you do a pretty
Oh
good job, but it's tough to keep up with all the chat.
yeah. I'm also Ninja's mod. He has like a lot of people, and I keep up with that. For some reason, I'm good with it. I don't know. It's a gift.
Yeah.
I try to keep
Hey,
up with
do
chat.
you know much about the EMP, like weaponized EMP technology, Neil?
Uh,
Like further to that question, my understanding is most EMP um, arms are going to be more isolated. Like they might be able to take out a city,
localized,
right?
localized.
Take
Yeah,
out a city
yeah.
or a
I'm actually
region, but it's not
if
going to
I
be a nationwide thing.
no, and it won't be. And like even if a nuclear weapon were to be exploded on American soil, it would only be about a 60-mile range that you'd have an EMP burst. So it would be totally localized. Like say, for example, if New York City got hit, as a for example only that area of the country would be out of disrupted internet service and stuff. Unfortunately, New York is a hub of the New York Stock Exchange, so that means San Francisco would have to take over the duties of the stock exchange, and that's already pre-set up and happened in the past, so it wouldn't be too long of a disruption.
Yeah.
It's set up. And here's another thing: during the 1991 war, uh, our systems got hacked because we were under attack, and we lost all of our military records that were on digital format. All we had was the physical DD214 files, which mine was about 3/4 of an inch to an inch thick, and they had to re-enter all of that information back into the system to verify if you were even in the military. Had I known this, I could have taken my DD214, gone home, and said, "What, Neil Hahn, private? What? No, you got proof?" And they wouldn't have had proof because all of the military files got wiped out and had to be re-entered from the hard files.
Okay.
So everything has already happened, and they've overcome in separate individual instances on a nationwide basis to where a small city or state EMP wouldn't. It would disrupt things for a short period of time, maybe cause a little bit of martial law, not because of the EMP, but from whatever caused the EMP being possibly a nuclear explosion. Now, what I'd be more concerned with is multiple strikes on infrastructure, which would be power lines, power grid, all these long lines. If you ever look for property, or if you
Yeah.
ever look at maps and you see these long lines, you'll see trees on both sides, and there'll be a clearing running down. If you
Yeah.
scope into
Power.
that, there's the power lines that have to be kept open from the main power manufacturing plant
Yeah.
to the grid. Those get disrupted, you got a couple weeks of problems.
Yeah. Radar.
Regional
Right? If they
areas.
take out radar stations.
There's a lot of those, and quite frankly, here's another way to look at it. Okay, if someone's going to do something like that, the result will be UCMJ, and that won't be pretty for them or their country.
Yeah.
So, if anyone wants to bring that kind of harm to themselves, because when it gets to a point where you disrupt the civilian operations of the government, the military takes over, and the military doesn't get permission from the people before it acts. That's why in the 91 war, we were so successful. It was known as the most successful war in the history of mankind that we have records for. But yet in the Vietnam War, it was unsuccessful because Vietnam was run by politicians.
Yeah.
And if someone hits American soil, politicians are not going to control the military.
Yeah.
So it'll be a quick and decisive comeback. And it'll all be over, and we'll rebuild, and whoever caused it won't be on this planet anymore, nor will probably half their country. So
one of the comments
that's known as a what do you call it, a deterrent, and every country out there knows that will happen to them. So unless they want to commit suicide, they're not going to attack. They're going to try some other way, and it'll be in some sort of a terror form to where no country can be held accountable. That's more what I would look for, and that wouldn't be on a large scale. Because again, if you look at how the Houthi thing's going down, how they're tracing it back to Iran, if you had a large scale thing go on in America, I guarantee you could trace down who it was from, and that would put it back directly onto a country. And every country out there wants to avoid taking any kind of responsibility for an attack on American soil, although they want to do it. They don't want to take responsibility because the ramifications are too harsh. So that is a problem that they have to overcome before they actually do anything. It's cool that everyone wants to talk about it happening, but you got to look at, are the people that are going to be doing this stupid enough to want to see everything that they have destroyed? Because that'll be the ramifications. Because if you take the power grid out, we go straight martial law, and in that case, the politicians won't know who we're attacking and killing until after we do it and restore power and everything. So then when we return it, we'll be like, who's dead? Well, whoever started it, no big deal. Go back and run your country. So if we all freak out, then it'll add more problems. But if we all just chill, be kind, helpful, and grateful in a scenario like that, and don't freak out going, oh, the sky's falling, and walk outside maturely and tell your neighbors, hey, we have food. Let's not all freak out. We have water. I got some water straws. I'm a little bit prepped. We don't have to freak out for a week or two. Okay, guys, let's be level-headed. And most likely, nothing bad will happen. It's when people start freaking out that psychological base continues and ripples out like throwing a stone in the water. If you throw a stone to freak out in the water, you're going to get freak out waves. It's going to freak more people out, and then they're going to create more freak out waves, and everything's going to freak out. Throw out calm, collective, mature stones. When people are more calmed down, you have less freak out, less chance of people getting stupid and trampled. Like in so many cases you've seen in the news of people more people die running to the exit than actually get out, because everyone's running to a small entryway and not being kind, helpful, and grateful, and will kill their fellow man to get out. So it does happen. That's just human nature. So you got to overcome the human nature of freaking out, and we'll survive.
Have a good night, Thule.
Oh, hey, sorry about that. Take care, Thule. Next time I'll get you up here. I'll find some way to backtrack the IP address and turn on your camera and pop you up here. I don't know how to do that, but I know you can do it if you're a good hacker. I'm not a hacker, so don't worry about it, Thule. Thank you for showing up, girl.
Are you wanting to have open panel, having more people?
Yes, anyone who wants to come up here is more than welcome to come up here. My show is open to everyone except for the people who we obviously all would not want on any of our shows. Pornographic people, stuff. Stuff like that. I'll say weird stuff just to label it so I can be a racist. But unless you do some weird, freaky shit, everyone's available. You can come up here, talk about your own shows. I don't care.
So Neil,
it's communal. Spread the word. I'm
going to suggest if you can go into YouTube, into your own show on YouTube.
Okay.
Find the comment where you put the StreamYard link in.
Yeah.
And then pin that, as Sal would say, pin that son of a biscuit.
Okay. On this, let's see.
On the YouTube side.
Yeah, I'm hitting those 3 little dot things and nothing's coming up.
Okay, so let me do it. Sometimes.
Wait, pin message. There it is. No, it's I haven't got a new clicker.
Okay.
And I just have to hit it in the right spot. Did it show up? Yeah, I think it showed up.
Yep, that worked. And then on the StreamYard side,
yeah,
you can remove that. There you go.
Okay. Hey, do you want me to go ahead and get rid of my ugly mug too? I could put up a picture of dancing girls, or even more importantly, I could put up pictures of squirrels doing pole dances in Canada.
Nice. Hey, Andy.
That was a rib at you for what I
22-121.
Hey, what's up, Indy?
Andy. Something about squirrels?
Oh.
There we go.
Yeah. Wow. Try again. I don't want to. Yeah. I don't know. Don't want to talk about it. That's scary shit. I never really read Revelations too much because it always freaked me out.
One of the comments that you made in Tiger Stalker's premiere that I really liked was about how your welding and construction skills.
Oh yeah.
See you through an EMP.
Yeah. That's why I say learning is a valuable skill, because everyone talks about trading their precious metals for food for a month and whatnot. Okay, you can. Yeah, you definitely can.
Should be a last resort, though. Last resort.
Exactly. Why would you want to? Like a friend of mine, Jake's Custom Parts, he loves pizza. I finally talked him into making his own pizzas. Now, here's an example, perfect example. I don't mean to put him on the spot. He's not here, but yeah, I don't mind putting him on the spot because he's a friend and that's what I do. So I'm putting him on the spot, even though he's not here. I want to get him to make a pizza oven at his permanent location because he could make and sell a pizza for 1 ounce of silver.
Great idea.
And he could gain silver. And same with the skills. Instead of using your silver to buy stuff, use your skills to barter for stuff. And then as last resort, like say, okay, the doctor doesn't have anything needing welding or fixing or anything that you can do electrical or plumbing or anything like that, then you use your silver. But you find it as a last resort because you want to hold on to it because it's called precious for a reason. Don't use it like it's not precious.
Hey, Neil, you've got a very, very special guest.
Who may that be?
In the green room.
Holy cow, I got a couple people here. I got Shizzle My Nickel. Shizzle My Nickel.
There we go. Good to see you guys.
Wealth of Nations. You don't like Shizzle My Nickel?
Good evening.
No, that's silver, isn't it, JM? Oh, he's already mic'd himself. Muted.
Yeah. I like to mute up when I'm not talking just to cut the background noise down. But yeah, that's just silver. It's up to Neil to put up the platinum.
Yep. Put up what?
The platinum.
Oh, I have to put up platinum? Okay, hold on.
It's a good idea.
Let me just get to it here.
I don't think anyone will object.
Nickel, I like your thumbnail.
Oh, yeah. Grand Funk
Railroad. We're an American band.
I'm your captain, dude. I'm your captain.
two of my favorite songs. I'm your captain, and we're an American band.
Yeah, American band was huge, but the I'm your captain. They got that for a car commercial. Have you heard it?
Haven't heard that.
Oh, it might be Buick. I'm not for sure what car it is, but yeah, they're using that for their ad now.
That ought to be illegal.
Well, I'm sure they're getting paid. You know, it's not for free.
No, I just meant such a classic song shouldn't be put on a commercial.
Oh, Alan Parsons Project, they've used a ton of their songs for commercials. They used one song for the Chicago Bulls when Jordan was there. They used it. They used the theme, the theme songs he had there for that. They used them. So
yeah, and they're using a lot of Who songs now. They're getting very popular on shows. Like the Scream on Won't Get Fooled Again.
Bargain's my favorite Who song. Yeah.
Bargain, not Baba O'Reilly?
No. I call that a bargain. The best I ever had. I love that song. And I had the greatest hits and it wasn't on there. I go, you kidding me? So I had to buy 2 CDs to get the greatest hits.
Nickel, are you doing karaoke with JM?
No, I don't think so.
I was about to say, this is not a karaoke show. You got to go JM's channel for that.
Yeah. I want to hear him belt out Bargain in a Southern accent.
I think Nickel could do fine with karaoke, but like Neil said, this is not the time or the place for karaoke.
Well, I meant on your show, JM.
I know. I'm just joking.
Well, JM, he can get in there with it, but I think he picks difficult songs. I'm going. Some of the songs you pick, I go, daggone, that'd be hard for anybody to sing, you know?
I know. So probably only about 10% of the songs that I sing actually come across nice. About 90% of them bomb. In fact, I sang The Gambler, Kenny Rogers, The Gambler, the other night, and I was in the wrong key the entire song.
Well, and you still started the car with the wrong key?
I would do the background for you. When you say you got to know when to hold them, I go, when to hold them. And
nice.
When to fold them. When to fold them. I could help you.
Okay, we should do a collaboration on that.
Sounds like we got a duet.
I'll send you an email.
So the guy that was on here with Neil, he is a guy, he buys, I couldn't really hear it good, so I didn't really get it. I think that he tries to find stuff and he recycles it and he sells it.
What he does is he builds a relationship with a couple jewelry shops and coin dealers, but mostly for the coin dealers when they buy stuff. And I know this too because I see my coin dealer buy shit from people as they come in. They buy for under spot. Doesn't matter if it's a ring, if it's a necklace, if it's earrings, whatever. They find out what carat, break down, find out the weight, and they give the weight price. And what he's saying is, if you get to develop a relationship with those people, the people that do that at the coin shops for the jewelry, because of the markup on jewelry, and they pay below spot, you could pick it up for a little bit, around spot for a piece of jewelry. And because the markup's not there for them because it's in their melt pot, you get a good price, and then you go resell it for the retail with the jewelry markup, which is an average of 300%, but you could mark it up 150% and get it be under retail price and be able to sell it real quick and still make 150% profit, that type thing.
Well, I'm pretty satisfied with the guy I have because Louisville, it's in the top 4 sellers, and they give me 100%. And then take 10% off for fees. And I think that's pretty fair. So I don't, I stick with that. They've been really fair, I think, to me. So I just stick with that. But
what I do,
we have a person here that will buy gold field and roll gold. And a lot of areas don't have anybody that'll do that.
I find selling the precious metal is the best way to earn the precious metal.
Well,
you mean like wholesaling it?
Like make a commercial. Put it on your show, sell it, get a commission off of the sale. And after you get enough, like say, for example, you do a platinum commercial and you get enough business to where you get $1,000 at year end of payment after however many ounces, whatever, just have them send you that 1 ounce of platinum. So you basically did nothing to earn that 1 ounce of platinum.
Promotions.
Well, that's what Shep's doing. He's buying the silverware, and then he takes that and he sells it, and then he buys silver with that, and he's getting that silver for free. However,
exactly. However you get there. It's the same as I can say this because I'm in California. It's legal on a state level for me to do this. I do that with my weed every year. My shit comes up ready. I grow extra, sell it, and I buy silver. It's free silver. Money grows on trees if you're in the right state.
Now, Chef, one thing I disagree. I'm the one that told him to do this stuff, and he's doing it. But he has some of the silver he gets is like new. It's been stored, never used. Now that for sure, I would try to sell as new. I don't think I'd want to scrap that because when you have a product made, it's worth more than the silver content. So if it's brand new, he can get. If someone needs that pattern and they want to extend their silverware, they want more. Families grow. He can sell that at a premium for that and get a lot more than he gets when he scraps it. But he's kind of, I mean, what he's doing is good. I just think he could make more if he did it a little differently.
Let's see here.
I agree with Unbroken 1010. Diamonds are I don't know that I call it Ponzi, but definitely a scam.
Oh yeah, they're definitely. See these right here? There's 6 seeds. I can get tens of thousands of dollars off of that by just adding water.
Well, I have gemstones. It depends on the gemstone and the quality of it, the size of it. A diamond.
Hold on. I did a fucking thing on this. I did a show on this. Y'all watch my videos. I'm gonna go to the map here and find out the name of this country. Name of this country here. Hold on a second. It's right there in Africa. And I'm gonna give you a little story here about this country. It's called Nambia. And there is a river that
Namibia.
Nambia, aka
whatever.
Namibia.
Yeah, you know me well. I'm not good with the names. Anyhow, there's a river that runs. What is it here? Let me try to find the name of this. I did a report on this.
Not the Okavango. The one that runs backwards.
No, this one runs out to the Pacific, and it runs through Nambia or whatever you want to call it, and Nambia. But anyhow, for many a millennium, diamonds have been rolling down this river, so much so that along the shoreline of the southwest part of Namibia, They've got guys with guns standing there to prevent you from just going out on the beach and picking them up. There's so many of them. That's how many diamonds there are in that part of the world. That you can go to a beach in Namibia near, Elizabeth Bay area. You can walk from there to South African border, and you could probably pick up 1 million freaking diamonds off the beach.
So I've actually got the map pulled up for people if you want to share that screen.
Hold on a second. I got to get off my map so I can see you there. Sorry.
Well,
yeah.
I want to address try again. Okay. Anything and everything, it's only value what someone's willing to pay you for. A lot of people
comes down to the monopoly.
A lot of people would argue that gold is not rare, and
it's not. Gold's not rare.
So see, but gold has a value. So does the diamond.
That's different from being rare. Gold's everywhere. It's in almost every state in America, man. I don't know about the rest of the world, but I know in the 50 states that make up America, gold is in every 50 states. So it's not rare in America.
I think the argument between gold and diamonds is gold, the free market controls the price. I mean, you could argue that the commodities market tamps it down, but with diamonds, the argument is De Beers controls.
Yeah, they have 100% control. I've seen.
No, they don't. It's only 30% now.
Well, yeah, now, but check this out. If you were going to be the other two diamond mines that were discovered, one was in Canada, one's in Arctic or Antarctic or somewhere like that. If you were going to go in business of diamonds, would you want to compete with them to lower the price, or would you jump on board with them and keep the price high? You'd play ball with them and keep the price high because that's the only way you're going to make a hell of a lot of money. Join the monopoly. So now instead of one-person monopoly, it's 3-person monopoly.
Most diamonds have gone down in value because De Beers doesn't monopolize that. They don't have the monopoly power anymore. But
Nickel, there's another reason you're missing. People aren't getting married anymore.
Well, yeah, but people still get, if they live together, they still get a ring. People think they're married when they live together, and of course they're not. I can guarantee you, God doesn't see it that way. And when you go stand before him, you're going to find people's going to find out He doesn't see it that way.
David's Bridal went bankrupt, so yeah, they're not selling nearly as much jewelry as they used to.
What made me think about diamonds as a scam was when they started putting them on tools. Hey, what's up, Infinite? They started saying diamond cutting bit and diamond cut this, and I started researching into it, and I was like, holy shit, there's so many diamonds on this planet.
Yep. Yes, but they're the crappy ones.
Those are typically industrial ones, so they're made in a factory.
Now,
Yeah, they're hard. They want it for their hardness, but they are diamonds. That's diamonds that were rejected for jewelry.
Yeah, for their lack of glitter and lust and value as jewelry. Exactly.
All you need to do is take graphite and put it under enough heat and pressure, and you've got yourself a diamond, and that's how they make them.
So feed cows diamonds.
But I'll tell you something. Purple diamonds are rare. Yellow diamonds are rare. So there are some that are rare, and they have value.
Those are rare. The purple and the pink diamond are very rare diamonds.
They're the colored ones. You can get them, and they're what you call investment grade.
Yeah.
And they are
get in a pool, invest in it. Gold money metals used to have it. They quit doing it, but they used to have grade A 5-star fine diamonds that were colored, and you could get into a pool and invest. And
hey, I just thought of something. This someone needs to get a hold of Constitutional because Nickel is actually on a live stream where you can comment.
Hey, well, I think he's recovering. He fell too.
Yeah, no,
he fell, and then Rocky fell.
Yeah.
And I think Rocky's was more serious than Constitutional. He did cut himself up. I saw blood on him, so he did get beat up pretty good when he fell. But I think he's kind of recovering from that.
Broke a bone in his foot and broke a bone in his hand and maybe broke a rib.
Yep, can't type good if you got a broken bone in your hand. So he's laying off for a while.
Yeah, I tried calling him with him just to fuck with him because I know how it is to have broken ribs, and I love making people laugh when they have broken ribs. I'm sadistic that way.
So I think Thule's mad at me. I don't understand why. I said, what did I do? You know, because I said, oh. I said, I'm just saying, oh, like, you did.
Hey. She's not here, so we ain't gonna talk about her.
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking when she was over there, I think she's mad at me. I don't know what I did.
Who's mad at you?
Yeah, I saw that, William. William said there's a young chemist on YouTube who made purple gold and purple aluminum alloy. I saw that too. I started watching the process he went through and told myself there's no way in hell I'd do that. I'll just go ahead and buy it. So he's got
I
something
posted I posted that in my community.
Yeah, he had something going. I mean, purple gold is like, wow, obviously.
Yeah, but very hard to do. Very hard.
And that's why I was like, that's for someone else.
Alchemy, right? It's using chemicals and all sorts of stuff. I think I've got the video pulled up here. If you wanted to show your audience a quick little, there you got it.
I already got it up.
You have to use aluminum. He had to use aluminum to get it done.
Off of it, and I was kind of upset by what I saw. Side of it, it was definitely colored, and it made no sense why sanding it wasn't working. What I thought was even more upsetting, though, was that it was only barely pink, and it wasn't nearly as vibrant as the first attempt. This also.
So I'll post the link for this.
Yeah.
But I think this is
But
one
anyway,
good
at this
shot of
point, it had been about 20 minutes, so I started blasting the mold with the torch. Then, when I eventually felt that it looked nice and hot, I quickly took apart the whole degassing setup, and going as fast as I could, I poured it all into the mold. After that, I waited for it to cool down, and when it got to around room temperature, I popped it out of the mold, and I started cleaning it up. Almost immediately, it was already pretty clear that there was a major improvement, and even after very little sanding, it looked like most of the cracks were gone. I would only really be able to know for sure once it was all nice and shiny, though, so I just kept on going, and many horribly painful hours later, I annealed it, and this was what I was just coming up with a design that I liked, and almost the entire time, I was really worried that it would turn out absolutely hideous. Eventually, though, I was able to make something that I felt I was happy with, so I polished it up as best I could and then annealed it, and this was the final result. It was honestly way nicer than I ever imagined it would be, and I kind of found it hard to believe that I had actually done it. I finally had my ring that was made entirely out of purple gold, and it was probably one of the only ones in existence, and after months of work, I think it was all worth it.
We need to give credit to whoever did this video on this live stream, so I don't get like a copyright infringement or something. I'd like his name exposed on this for doing the work. I don't want to plagiarize, basically.
Yeah, that's the link for it right there. I just put it in the chat.
Right on.
And we'll give him a thumbs up here too. He's already got 496,000 thumbs up, and he's got 5.8 million subscribers.
Okay, now that right there, what you're showing is all I needed to see, bro. Is his name and everything. Giving him credit.
That's
I don't
why
want to be like the president of Harvard.
No, but that's why I
About
do it.
2
That's
years
why I put it on
ago,
my.
I became convinced that there was a way to turn cotton balls.
Sorry about that.
That's why I put it on on my community. I don't try to put stuff. Not that I couldn't do it. I just don't put stuff like that in my videos because of that. And I don't want to get told.
Most of my videos that I do are of other people, and then I add my dialogue, but I always show when they posted it, who they are, and whatnot, because I do geopolitical, so I do a lot of, I take news from everywhere that people usually don't get news from, but I try and show who's putting it out to give them credit, so I don't get hit with plagiarism or something like that.
Yep, and I just put his YouTube channel link in there too.
Right.
Thank you.
Yep. But I'll tell you this. That when you ask people in the jewelry business, they still don't consider purple gold a possibility. It's just not done. It's got to be specially done. So they don't even consider it. They still say rose gold, yellow gold, white gold.
I like what William said. Takes a lot of time, study, and practice, learn the skills, and that guy is a living genius, nerdy as he may be able to do that because of what you just said, Nickel. Because it is very hard to do.
Yeah, and so now there is five. I think they got to acknowledge it. The industry will have to acknowledge it, but right now they're still saying just four: green, rose, yellow, and white. But I think now you got to say purple. Of course, they're going to try to make every other color they can.
Is that white gold platinum? Just asking.
It looks like kind of like platinum. But
You know what?
here's the secret.
Platinum is known as white gold. Platinum has been known in the past as white gold.
That's right.
Platinum's better. It's going to last you longer. Not a soft. But if you look at it, why would you want rose gold? Because they're going to think it's copper. Purple gold.
Well, that's like, what is it? It's Thor's gold or something. What is it? Norse gold or something? It's a mix of 80% gold, 20% copper, or something like that. There's a gold out there.
It's got copper in it. That's to give it that color. So you have
it's supposed to be like Thor's gold or Norse gold that was used in history because they couldn't purify 100%. So and I think it was the Norse people, so they dedicated to one of their gods that type of gold, and that's the preciousness of it today, from my understanding.
Well, I like the color copper. I like copper better than gold color, but why would you do that? Pay all that extra money to get gold when everybody in the room thinks it's copper, and why would you get white gold when everybody thinks it's silver?
And still name their kids Apollo, because that legendary mythos is still strong in a lot of people's minds. That has a lot to do with reality and coinage.
And I guarantee you,
to your question,
what,
Nickel, I just wanted to respond to your question there. Like, one of the things that I find appealing about white gold is if, for example, people know that you have gold, they're going to think it's yellow. And if they see like white gold jewelry and that sort of thing kicking around, a lot of people are not going to think that's gold. They're going to think that's silver.
Yeah. So why would you pay all that extra money to get that and then have them? Because you can tell platinum. Platinum is a different white color to it. You can tell platinum. I mean, I can't see the distance. I can tell platinum. I can't tell silver from white gold. And I can't tell copper from rose gold. So why would you pay the extra amount to have that and then have people just think you don't have that? And then this purple, they're going to think it's just a purple metal. They're not going to think that's gold. So I just find it interesting that people do that. It don't make sense. It never made sense to me.
It goes back to what I was saying when Thomas was on. There's so many different genres to the metal industry or the precious metals industry. You have numismatic, you have ancient coins, you have sovereign coin collectors only. You have so many different genres. It's a specific thing, like with me, I'm not a coin collector, but I'll be a son of a gun if I don't come across an 1825 to 1845 Russian platinum coin. If I won't snatch it up for however much money it takes, because they're the rarity. And I'm not a platinum type. I mean a coin collector of ancient coins of any sort, but that one still holds great value to me, which adds to the value of the coin.
So it'll be another year or two before the jewelry industry recognizes purple gold, I think.
Yeah, I don't care if they recognize it or not. I think it's cool as shit, and I'd love to have a ring, and I'd pay more than the gold price for the amount of craftsmanship that went into it. Because of the amount of craftsmanship needed to make it, I think it would be a freaking awesome thing to own.
But it is aluminum.
Novelty value.
It's like this new thing, osmium, that's coming out that Long Live Coins is helping Ian from Mark Silver promote. Yeah, it's a rare thing that's made as well. So is purple gold. It's not for everybody. It's for a small market, and it'll be expensive because of it. Yeah, niche market. By the way, Wealth of Nations, I like your picture.
Did he go to sleep on us?
I think he did.
No, I'm here. I was just muted.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my half Maine Coon, and he was sleeping. I was working on my desk, and he doesn't like it when my hands aren't on him, so he comes and gets in the middle of the desk, and he likes to sleep on his back. So there he is.
That's a good picture. I like
it. Just kind of spread eagled.
So now, Neil, I want to make sure you know how to make the Wealth of Nations profile picture full screen, right? Through StreamYard?
Would it be? Nope, wrong one.
Close.
Wrong one. Hold on. There's more options here.
What you do is you just go to his picture, and there you'll see the three dots on his picture.
Damn, no.
And then you'll see a square. Click on the square. The square means full screen in the top right-hand corner of his thing in StreamYard.
Yeah, I'm seeing there's three dots, and when I push on it, it says remove from stage solo layout. Okay, is that what you're talking about?
Yes, sir. Solo layout.
Okay, what the fuck? My clicker.
There you go. Now we got a good shot of
it. That's a content kitty.
Oh, yeah. I think it's saying rub my belly.
He loves a belly rub. Matter of fact, if I start petting him and he gets real happy, that's where he goes to the belly. He goes upside down and doesn't like it when I don't rub his belly. He'll claw my arm into his belly.
And then Unbroken's got a question. Isn't white gold like 10 karat and real? The white gold can be 22 karat. It can be, I don't believe in 24 karat. I hear people say it's really 23 point something is when they say 24 karat. If you didn't, your fingernail would leave grooves in it. So it can't be totally 24 karat. And then 10 karat, 14 karat, 18 karat, you can get all that in white gold. But the Italians like yellow gold.
10-4 jam.
But nickel, isn't white gold more silver than gold?
I believe, what is it they add with that? I think they add not platinum, but platinum. I think platinum is what.
I see it here. It says nickel. It could be nickel, platinum, palladium, and silver.
Well, I think most cases, I think they use palladium, which makes it a lot higher than yellow gold. So yeah, it does cost you more. It's more. It takes more expenses to produce white gold than yellow gold.
The 18. I've got a page. I'm looking at Oxford Gold Group, and it says 18 carats is 75% gold. 14 carats is 58.3% gold. And 10 carats is 41.66% gold.
Yeah, I just go by 42 on the 10. I go 585 on the 14, and I go 0.75 on the 18. 22 is 0.90. Okay. And then 23 plus is whatever that comes out to, So, but yeah, that's how they do it. So platinum is 900 or 950. So I got some jewelry, it's 900 platinum, and I got some platinum, it's 950. I prefer the 950.
You can get the white gold look and have, when you say 950, is that 95% gold?
No, platinum. 950 platinum. That's why when I see somebody thinks it's silver and it's got 950 on it, I always buy it, because I know sometimes they make a mistake and they think 950 is just 950 silver. But you don't see 950 silver much. Occasionally, it could be platinum, and so I'm hoping it's platinum and not silver. I almost always bid on it. If I see 950, I will bid on it to take that chance.
So, because you're assuming if it says 950, it's platinum.
I think it's more likely platinum than silver. Yes. That's just a little tip I'll give out to people. And just if you see it, I'd go for it. Just go ahead and take the chance on it.
There we go. I'm trying to figure shit out. Sorry, guys.
Now, if it's like 950 silverware, I can tell you it's got to be silver because ain't nobody going to do 950 platinum and eat with it. There's just no way. You know how expensive that would be? There's just no way they would do that. And gold flatware is it's very rare. I mean, Thule got that one, and I kept asking her questions. She told me about it. I go, "Are you sure it is? You sure it's not plated?" You know, because you just don't see it, and it's very hard. It's very hard to find.
Look at that kitty right there.
Yeah, silver's made an appearance.
Yeah. I just
All
wanted
right.
to know I love silver.
Kept saying silver, 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 and it said, "What?
I think
What do you want?"
Silver loves you too, Neil.
I'm sure he does. The way he fucking lays on me. Yeah, we know. Yeah, no,
But it's fun. It's fun to find. It's really fun when you do hit the jackpot and you suspect something that's not, and it turns out that you're right. It wasn't the other. It was better, and you do it. It's not like anything. It's like catching a huge fish.
Now, Nickel, are you as active as Thomas sounds like he is in working with dealing with coin shops and that sort of thing?
The place that I sell my gold to is a coin shop. Technically, it's a numismatic place, but it is. I think majority of their business is people bringing gold in. They sell it to a refiner. I think that's where they make the majority of their money. And fixing stuff. A lot of these jewelry stores, the only reason why they stay in business is they fix watches. I was in one. I was going to get some jewelry appraised. I was trying to find me a GIA, and he is one, but he said he doesn't do that, and he gave me some names. And when I was in there, all they didn't sell one piece of jewelry. All they had is people come in to pick up the watches they repaired or watches they were bringing in to get repaired. So it's mainly a watch service these days. And that's how they do it. I mean, I think that's how they're staying afloat.
Yeah, servicing high-end watches like Rolexes, that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. It's good money in that. There's big money in that.
I'm going to watch that Rolex price cycle. Next time it goes down to the low end, I'm going to look at picking up a Rolex or two.
They're great investments. Great investments.
Yeah, I never really thought about it until one day Ninja was talking about it, and I started looking at it. I was like, damn, man, the fluctuation in price is as much as rhodium.
Now, don't you have to be careful about getting Chinese knockoffs on Rolex?
Oh, yeah, you always got to do due diligence, obviously.
All you got to do is run the numbers. You run the numbers, and it'll tell you whether it's stolen. It'll tell you whether it's fake.
Numbers in terms of serial number?
Yeah. They got numbers on the back. It should be on the back of the
authenticity reasons, for exactly that reason.
Couldn't they counterfeit the serial number as well?
No, because they wouldn't know which numbers to counterfeit. They wouldn't know what numbers to use. They just make it up. They just make them up.
And they wouldn't come up. And also, if they did that, you'd have duplicate numbers, and that right there would be a red flag. They'd be like, well, hold on, we have two numbers. One's in France and one's in your location now, apparently. So the one that they'd have on record would be the real one, and the new one would obviously be the knockoff.
So Rolex, not only they have a serial number, but they track where the watch is supposed to be
purchased.
But what if it's been resold?
Or not purchased, excuse me, where they sold it to.
Okay.
Where they sold it to, what retailer chain or distribution unit they sold that in particular serial number to. They have
everyone's distinct. So what happens is someone steals it. You have a Rolex, I steal it. I go and try to get rid of it, fence it. They will they're by law, they're supposed to do a trace on that to make sure it's not stolen. And if it comes up on they got a list. I forget what they call it. It's a color. They call it color. It's a list. And if it comes up on there, they take it from you. They say goodbye. The person, if it's stolen, is going to run. And because they didn't probably give them their real name, they're going to take off, and then they're going to keep it, and the police will take it. And so if you buy it and it's stolen, you can only lose, because if you go in to get it repaired, if you go in to get it checked, they check the numbers.
Yeah.
And if it's stolen, you lose. I tried to explain that to Shep. He got real upset. I go, I'm telling you, guy, that's what happens. That's the system.
That's true. That's true with any stolen goods. If you buy stolen goods,
well, if they're trackable,
if you
track it.
Right.
If they're traceable, then there's no hold put on them. Like I was saying earlier, if you bring in a bullion, if you bring in a 100-ounce bar, it's going to have a serial number on it. But if you bring in a couple 1-ounce coins, they're not going to have serial numbers on them.
Well, Rolexes are it's like a house on your arm. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty much.
You can get all platinum. You can get 22 karat gold. You can get 950 platinum.
Don't they do diving watches in Rolex too now?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They make every kind there is. And I mean, you're talking big time bucks.
Yeah, no, they've got a monopoly on the precious metals watch industry.
I'd be afraid to dive with a Rolex.
No one's stepped up in the watch building industry to compete with Rolex.
Even the poor man's Rolex, which is a stainless steel, even those go up in value. So,
well, it's name recognition. It's a Rolex still. It's their
most of mine are stainless steel, because I'm a poor man Rolex. I'm not a rich man Rolex. I can't. If I've got gold, they're women's Rolexes. No men's Rolexes, man. Because you're talking, and the gemstones they use. I mean, there was one that was green. It had emeralds on it. I said, that's awesome. That's an awesome watch, man. I think they wanted over $100,000 for that. I said, I would never be able to afford that.
Nickel, did I hear you say you wear a woman's Rolex?
No, I said I have women Rolexes. Most of my Rolexes are women's.
I know what you said. I was just picking at you.
Yeah, thanks, Wealth, because you just gave me a visual of Nickel drinking a Bud Light.
That was a good one.
It was quick, though. I was able to erase it, so it's not made a permanent imprint in my mind.
Oh, I don't know if I'm going to be. I'm going to have bad dreams now.
Unbroken. Hold on a second here.
Nickel's going to have a female lady's Rolex and drinking a Bud Light in my dreams.
Yeah, Unbroken had a good question there. If you can highlight his comment.
That's what I was looking at. That one?
Right above it. One above it. There you go. And I was going to say, in response to that, to me, like, silver is silver. But then I'm starting to wonder if he's talking about, like, ancient silver items.
It all depends. The conquistadors did a lot of melting of silver down there in the 1500, 1530, 36, whenever they were down there. They did a lot of smelting. So apparently the technology to melt the metals by the Aztecs, Incans, or Mexicans now was good enough for it to be pure enough to where they had the heat right to be able to cast pure silver and gold from whatever they threw in their forge. And they didn't have much extra materials. So they apparently were, and no one puts anything on this, but if you look at history and you look at how much they melted down, all this other stuff, and you ask a couple questions like I did, like, for example, they first came up in Western history with platinum because of those conquistadors down there raiding Mexico or the Incans, Mayan areas for all of their gold and silver and melting it down. And because they had the temperature right for the melting of the silver and the gold, when they came across this other thing they called platinum, or little silver, it didn't melt because platinum's at twice the melting point of silver and gold almost. So they threw it aside. So apparently the Aztec, Mayan, or Mexicans not only had very pure gold, but they also had platinum.
Well, their craftsman is unbelievable
So,
with silver.
well, to be able to melt down, the melting point of platinum is twice that of gold. So for the technology that you just got to think about, man, what kind of technology did they have that the Spanish didn't have?
Well, I
Because
think
they were messing around with platinum, and if you can melt platinum down, you can get gold and silver at a high enough temperature to pull out all the impurities, which would make it very pure. And
But
if they
they
didn't have
probably thought
a
that.
temperature, if they didn't have a temperature setting point, they probably go hotter when melting down the gold and silver, which would purify it, would pull out more of the extra metals, which would make it a more pure gold and silver. So I would think,
They-
yeah, they could.
They probably called platinum hard-headed silver.
No, they call it platine.
Yeah, but you get it?
Silver,
Hard-headed silver. In other words, it was hard to deal with than regular silver. Hard-headed.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
And that was another thing I learned about platinum as well, like comparing it to gold for jewelry. If you're wearing gold, let's just say high purity gold, when you bang into doors and walls and this and that, it can start to not tarnish, but you can actually lose some of it over time.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
the ring will break. It'll get so thin it will break.
But
yeah,
with
you lose
platinum,
particulates over time that make it that thin. Yes, JM.
with platinum, that will not happen. And even if you bang it hard against stuff, it'll leave a little notch in it, or whatever, but it won't dissipate from just regular
200 years. It's guaranteed 200 years. So it's supposed to be your lifetime times 2 or 3.
Well, now we can get into why is platinum better at that than gold?
Because it's more dense.
Okay, now we're getting into a subject I love to talk about. Why
Space
would
mining.
You got that right.
Oh, here we go.
It is one of the heaviest, densest material along with iron. So in the formation of asteroids, the first things that combine to make that asteroid are platinum, and a lot of it, and iron. And after they make a big old ball, a couple 100 pounds worth, then these other materials start grabbing a hold of it. So yeah, space mining can be very profitable. Just because
I'm gonna have Neil on. We're gonna do a show on that.
Just because a platinum ring won't scratch and disintegrate over time is the reason why we need to go to space for platinum. Because it's guaranteed out there everywhere, and it's not guaranteed on this planet we're fixing to run out. Unless someone goes down to the Mexican conquistador areas where they came across so much platinum, they named it platinum, and find out where it is, because there is no platinum mine or placer platinum mining down in Colombia, Mexico area. So there might be an untapped vein, platinum groups metal vein in the Andes Mountains down in South America.
And you remember Sal did a video and he said how the weapons we make would help silver. I go, helps platinum more, because those bunker busters, what do you think's in the tip of those bombs, those bunker busters?
Yeah, the hardest.
You know what else actually with the bunker busters? I think that's spent uranium, and that's even denser.
But it generally has to penetrate 3 levels before it goes off. So you would have to have platinum in the tip of that head to do that.
You know where that technology came from? I was watching video, before I got on YouTube, so I didn't do a report video on it. But I was talking to a couple of friends at the time. This was maybe a decade ago. They had and I was keeping up with DARPA and all these new weapons and stuff that were coming out that we'd be using. And they had this one round. And I was thinking to myself, well, now cover and concealments are useless, because what the round did is the round would go to a certain point. And this was a rifle round, like an M16 size round, 5.56. And it would go to a certain distance and then explode like a grenade, but a small time thing. So it would go like through a window and then explode. So you wouldn't actually have to hit the person. You just have to get in the room. And that technology was born from the bunker buster technology. So we actually have ammo, on weapons that have not been released yet to the general public that our military is using. That basically a bullet will go like through a sheetrock and plywood wall and then explode, just like a bunker buster, but in rifle ammo form.
Yeah,
Because I saw
platinum has an atomic weight of 78. Uranium has a atomic weight of 92.
Yeah, but uranium is I don't think is I don't know. I can't say. I really don't know how uranium starts. I do know how platinum originates in its form in outer space. I don't know how uranium does, so I can't comment on why uranium wouldn't be part of the iron and platinum centers of most of your asteroids, because it goes by the atomic weight, and they say that those two are the heaviest that are there. So that would lead me to believe from the scientific studies that I saw on how asteroids are produced, that somehow uranium isn't produced in the same format where it would congeal with iron or platinum to make the center of an asteroid. But I'd have
Well,
to check.
you wouldn't, so they're made by supernovas, and
Yeah, that's how
it's
platinum.
it's a heavier metal. So you would, and I don't know this for a fact. I'm just speculating. You would assume that it wouldn't be made in as much quantity.
I discovered in the creation of those same explosions, neutron explosions or whatever, that I'm stoned, so I forgot already. They say that there's Earth-size amounts of gold and platinum in balls the size of the Earth and bigger, shot out from the explosion of the neutron star or the supernova or whatever. And of course, if you know anything about maps, as further you go from the source, no matter how big the concentration of whatever it is shooting out, the further it goes, the less concentrated it is. So the closer you are to the supernova, the more of that element would be deposited on your in particular planet. But if you and Betelgeuse is fixing to go supernova, so we're fixing to get another infusion of space gold and silver or gold and platinum shooting by our planet as soon as. And Betelgeuse might have already gone supernova, because by the time the light gets here,
Yeah,
it would have already shot past us. So
it's a bunch of light years away.
yeah, but there's fixing to be another infusion naturally of platinum and gold particulates on a nuclear, small cellular scale being deposited throughout the universe as soon as Betelgeuse blows up. And that's gonna be very interesting, because there was this Russian dude. When you guys remember Oompa Goomba, or what do they call that one? Oompa Goomba.
You're talking about the thing that happened in Siberia?
No, that weird out of our atmosphere, out of our universe asteroid that went by the sun and took like a left-hand turn and stuff.
Oh, Nibiru?
Huh?
Nibiru?
No, I think it was like Oompa Goomba or something like that. They gave it a
Never heard of it.
They gave it a Hawaiian name called in English it's like New Visitor. It's like 3/4 of a mile long. Oh, what the hell was the name of that asteroid? Oompa Goomba, I think it was. Let me check on.
I've never heard of it.
Who made the news?
There's that one big one that
a couple years ago.
One big one coming our way, and it's got all kinds of gold on it. I forget what they called it. Sal did one. I did a video on it. I can't remember the name. Sal did a video on it. Got all kinds of gold on it. It's huge though. If it hit the Earth, it would destroy the Earth.
Yeah, that's Apophis. And it's actually not going to pass us till 2027 or 2029, and it's only going to come close, but it's going to come close enough to change its trajectory, just enough to where I think 7 years later, in like 2036, it should hit the planet. I believe that's how that one goes. Last I heard. Yeah, it's Oumuamua. That's it, Oumuamua.
Well, where's Craig when you need him? I thought, how come he ain't here? He usually comes in. He ain't here.
Oumuamua. Put it here.
Wow. Speaking of interesting fun facts, we were talking about Betelgeuse. They estimate it's only 10 million years old, and then it'll go supernova within 100,000 years.
Yeah, but I've been hearing a lot of stuff lately about it, more so than ever. And I've been keeping up with the astrological shit for like 30 some years. And Betelgeuse has been on the radar more than ever about it going supernova. So I'm wondering if they don't have a technology that can tell that it's already gone supernova. Because based on this Oumuamua, after Oumuamua flew by, and this didn't make national news or any kind of news, you had to look for it. There was a Russian oligarch billionaire before Elon Musk launched his shit in outer space, his little car thingy and all that. This guy, as soon as the Oumuamua flew by, this Russian dude launched a rocket into space that was going to go in the trajectory that Oumuamua traveled in, and it had some sort of a net in it in its cargo, and it was going to collect the tail links of whatever was being left by Oumuamua and bring it back down to Earth. And nothing since has been talked about. So somebody knows something about Oumuamua, about it, what it was by the tail links that it didn't leave or did leave that we couldn't observe as we do with asteroids and comets.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
everything speculated
Six,
it was
the
Wow, that
16
was
site PSYCAE is the one's got all that gold on it. 700 quintillion.
yeah,
Ounces,
770
I think.
quintillion. Actually, SpaceX and NASA signed a contract in late 2019, early 2020, after the governments of the world came up with a law on how to claim ownership of space stuff in outer space. Last time they met was in 1969. They had a meeting, said who can own the moon, and they came to a convenient law that said no one can own the moon. Whoever goes there can gain the resources from the moon and advance their country's needs from those resources, but it's not to be owned by anyone. Well, in 2019 they came up with something on how to own asteroids, and about 3 months after that, group came together and made a law of what it takes to own something in outer space, which is just landing a beacon on it, and the beacon, just sending back a signal where it landed and coming up with some science on what it's made of. Shortly, 3 months after that, Elon Musk, SpaceX, and NASA signed a contract to send a rocket payload to a $770 quadrillion asteroid. So if they do put a beacon on it, like it, love it, or leave it, according to the international law on space ownership, America and SpaceX was contracted, so NASA or the American people will own the largest vaulted metals not on this planet. Now, if you look at how we go right now, Donald Trump admitted there's no gold in Fort Knox. So if we're running a system off of leverage money from a vault that's secure is one in outer space, because we do not have the technology at this point in time to get it. But one way to get that technology is to call that $770 quadrillion a vault, leverage it. Every American is now wealthier than fuck and able to invest in the technologies that are expensive now that will get us out there. That is one way that we could advance to a closer to a 1.0 society technologically, which would get us into outer space. And they have already made the legal pathway for it to happen, and contracts have already been signed. So facts are facts, believe it or not. They don't want it to be public knowledge, that's for damn sure, but I found out about it and I'm talking about it, so I don't give a fuck what they want. Now, what I see is, had Hillary Clinton taken the presidency and not Trump, the elites would claim ownership of that money, and our children and children's would be slave to them for eternity, because they would claim ownership of it, even though it was discovered by a tax-paying organization, which means legally every one of us that pays taxes owns that organization. In other words, we own NASA because we fund it. So if they get profit, it's ours. And that's the legal stance by law.
Well, what would that do if they could?
Unless they own the judges, like judges that
resources.
can illegally go after ex-presidents and break all kinds of constitutional law. Oh, by the way, they have those kind of judges. So they would have gotten away with it had Trump not stepped up.
if they could capture it, suspend it in motion, whatever they could do to get that would.
No, they don't have to.
make-
See, that's the thing. You don't have to. You just have to follow the law of the world group that came up with the law of ownership. Once you prove ownership, it is the exact same as being in Fort Knox, other than the fact that you can't fucking sell it because you can't touch it, but you can still leverage it. And due to our economic scenario and the way our economies work, leveraging of gold, if it is a tier one asset, is a thing to do. So if you can prove you have $700 quadrillion worth of gold in the fucking vault, you can leverage that. Therefore,
And you know what else?
Your country could print up a gold-backed currency worth fucking a shitload of money, and all of us would have it because we all own that thing, but we have no access to it.
You know what else it proves?
From us, like Fort Knox gold was.
You know what it proves?
What's that?
There's a buttload of gold out there. That's what it proves, and that's what I've been saying.
Well, as soon as dude, oh my God, if anyone could come up with a fucking space net and time a neutron star exploding, you'd have more gold than was ever placed on this planet if you were close enough to collect it. Because as I already stated, and scientists have proven this, astrophysicists have already proven this, that Earth-sized balls of platinum and gold shoot out from these explosions, Earth size, in the cellular form. So if you had a small enough net to capture it, you could capture thousands of tons of both those elements if you're in the right spot at the right time and close enough. But all those things would have to come into play. If you're far enough away, you could still capture a whole shitload of it.
I'm with Try Again.
What's
I'm
that?
with Try Again on it. Possession is 9/10 of the law.
Exactly. But what was our economy based on before 1971? It was gold back, right? But yet, if there was no gold in Fort Knox, how could it have been gold back? Everyone believed there was gold there, but yet it was stolen. So that was the flaw in the gold back system.
The way that you know,
if you could guarantee that the gold was there, like say on an asteroid, because you have a beacon on it that guaranteed it did its checks, it did its science, yes, it is made of this, and you don't have the technology to go get it, that's a vault that you can't steal.
Yeah, but you can't recover it either. Like if you've got that as collateral for the loan, like
understandable. But again, we've already run through this scenario. Our dollar is based off of gold that's not in the bank anymore, so we've already gone through that scenario.
That's right.
You know,
so the way that you can tell that they've got the gold and they've got the monetary metals is that when you've got a paper banknote, you can go in and transfer that, the face value of that for the same thing.
That's what people aren't considering. If you have that $770 quadrillion asteroid, yeah, sure, you would be able to do that. So what would that mean? Well, that would mean every company in America, if you got the gold from America, you just turn it straight over to the government so they could turn it over to the banks for that to be happening, because it would be backed by gold that's in outer space and on Earth. We would have to trade the shit here on Earth, so it would have to be spread differently here on Earth, which would make all of us wealthy as fuck the way we should be if our government that we pay for, this special organization for that was created in the 60s so we could go explore in outer space and use our money to do so, and has taken trillions of our taxpaying dollars to do so, should pay us back eventually, don't you think? They've wasted trillions of dollars, trillions of your dollars and my dollars, tax dollars, no money coming back yet. Eventually you get a return on investment. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, they'll steal it.
Well, had the right people been in office, yes, they would have. That's what I'm saying. And that's why they hate Trump so much. If everyone wants to know why all these elites hate Trump, because they lost the opportunity to steal quadrillions and be fucking forever and ever and ever quadrillionaires, only their family. And you would have had, what is that movie they came up with? Fucking Hunger Games. You would have had Hunger Games world where only they ruled and their family ruled because they were born into the trillionaire family, because they would have stole it from us. Trump comes along, guarantees that doesn't happen. Well, fuck, now they want to fucking kill him and come break laws and have fake judges come up with fake laws to take him to court. And exactly what's happening now. Why would they hate him so much? You got to ask that question. Why do they hate him so much over any other president that was a Republican?
because he can't be bought.
He's not part of this. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not really on their side.
There
Yeah,
you
They
go.
didn't
he
like,
can't
like
be.
Kennedy either.
He's independently wealthy, so he doesn't need to be bought
So
off.
he's not greedy. Okay. Now you look at Hillary Clinton, Obama, and Biden, see how much money they made after they went into government, and look at their personality types. And you can put together, well, hell, they probably saw an easy way to become a trillionaire and we're going to fucking sell us all out. And now you look at the laws that each of them passed, or, well, hell, under the Clinton State Department, this medical thing that I will not talk about on this channel was given to the Chinese to do whatever it is they did that eventually turned out the way it turned out. And you look at these other people and they've done similar things. It's like they already thought they were elitists. They thought they had it in the bag, that they knew that the laws were, they did the world count. It does world councils of all the 150 some odd governments just don't come together overnight. It takes years to format these things and get them all together to be able to vote on something. They'll have to be informed of what they're going to be voting on so they can get more informed on how they will vote. And then you have to have some way to get all of them together to make this happen. They did that in 1969 and 2019. In 1969, it was about the moon. No one thought that we'd ever get resources on the moon. Now we've got other countries corroborating what America's always said. Yeah, there's resources on the moon. China said it, Japan said it, India said it. All of them landed on the moon saying the same thing. Yeah, there's resources here. And every country that lands on the moon can own those resources. Law was made for that. Law was also made saying how to own other shit out there. And that happened
Kennedy.
in 2019.
Kennedy
Find out
was
what
like,
that law is and ask why. And now ask another question. Why has there been 66 launches last year of SpaceX when all of them were not done? Only like 5 or 6 of them were done by the government. That means 60 launches of payloads were done by private industry. Why all of a sudden in 1 year is so much private industry interested in going into outer space? Why? Why is all this money all of a sudden being thrown at going into outer space and no one talking about it? That's interesting to me.
well,
Hundreds of millions of dollars being thrown at something that no one talks about. Are these people all stupid?
Kennedy and Trump are alike in a lot of ways. They both make changes.
Because Kennedy's dad bought his vote. He was caught outside the union halls paying $10 per vote. That motherfucker's family was all mafia.
Yep, but he couldn't be bought either. So
he was mafia. That means he was already bought.
No, but they're similar that they were self-made. They didn't need anybody's money.
No, he wasn't
to make changes. They both want to make
mafia.
changes.
He was mafia. Kennedy was mafia, dude. His whole
and they're gonna kill Trump the same way they did Kennedy because they don't want to make these changes.
If that would have happened, if they were going to do that, they would have already done that. They've had plenty of opportunity. He'd be so martyred right now. If they did that, that would be the worst thing they could do. They should have done it, hell, while he was president. That would have been less of a crime for long-term martyrment purposes. Because if they do it now with all this other shit they're putting him through, it's going to be clear as day. It was a total fucking witch hunt.
Well, I think they tried to avoid it. I think they tried to avoid it. But if this don't work, and I don't think it's going to, and he gets elected, then they only have one option left. And I'll ask the others in the chat if they agree with that. I think they'll kill him. I think they'll kill Trump.
I don't think that'll happen at all.
Well, I'll just say I hope not.
I think you don't know about who Trump is to say that.
I agree with Neil that they had lots of opportunities. I think there was lots of attempts that were stopped. I think that they would love to get him, but I don't think they'll get him. I think Trump's so far ahead of them.
Who his family is. Trump's family was the puppet masters of the Bushes, all of them. It was, if you want to know who they were talking to Trump's uncle. Now he's president. So what we have the puppet master that's president. So yeah, all the puppets are pissed. Simple as that.
Yeah, they were trying to set up a palace coup before he even got into office. They set up Mike Flynn, and they were trying to set him up.
And he knew about it. Never got caught up in it.
Well, the rumors I hear is they're gonna have a coup if he gets in. The military is gonna take him out. That's what I've been hearing.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Don't worry about it. Now, if we do have a lot of men wearing dresses, they're allowed to do drill parades in their fancy dresses, I'd be concerned about that happening. But the fact that 5 Marines back in 2020 or 2021 or something like that. No, it was before that. It was 2019. They were arrested trying to bring an Al-Qaeda sniper across the Mexican border. No one ever heard about that. It never made national news. But I would think that would be the time they would have tried to do what you're saying. And I would say, well, that was a big failure because those 5 Marines got busted. Never heard anything of them. And here's another thing no one ever heard of. And yes, SEAL Team is back in action. But I did a report on this where SEAL Team 6 was told by the government, the Defense Department, to stand down. So if you're a military man and you're whole fucking group known as whatever special group is told to stand down by the DoD, that means you're being dismantled. So if you find out a lot of things about the SEAL Team 6 is what I apparently know, and mainstream media doesn't tell you about, every option they've already had to do an assassination on any president that they want to, that's going to be a future Republican president in the next couple of years, was already thwarted a long time ago. That's all I can say. I know of several ways that they've already thwarted those attempts, and none of them made national news. So no, they're not going to get away with it because once you do it and try and fail, it's always harder the 3rd, 4th, and 5th time. I know of 2 attempts, so I don't think they're going to get away with it that at all. Now, if it was a first attempt, I would be more likely to agree with you, but that happened like 4 or 5 years ago, bro. So, yeah, no, it's not going to happen.
Well, if they try to kill me in this, I don't leave the White House, bro. I'm saying I'm in here, Jack.
Well, if you're a puppet master and you know the end game, well, it doesn't matter. You know it's not going to work, and you know what's going to happen to them. That's what I see.
It's comforting to hear you say that, Neil, because I do believe that you have good information, and kind of confirms my hunch.
All I can say is, as of right now, I have an FBI security clearance, just for the special type of work I do as an iron worker, because even military need iron work. And my brother was Halo Jump Master of the military for several years, and he was a Green Beret for 20 years. And every 2 years, I had an FBI investigation done on me. So I have unique insight and contacts. And when I was supposed to go to Africa, for example, back in 2014, before all this bullshit started with my mobile elephant fencing system, I had contact with a buddy of mine up in the New York area, and he gave me contact number for an individual that I could get a hold of if things went south for me down there, and I had to bug out on my own and not count for my ticket. So I had an alternative exit source that was going to be picking me up 3 miles from where I was supposed to be had I gone and things went south. So yeah, I have a unique insight. That's why I like doing Africa things, because I know a lot of things about, like, a lot of Americans don't even know we have a division of the military called the AFRICOR that doesn't answer to the Pentagon. So whoever controls that part of the world, as far as our politicians go, actually have to answer to, or the AFRICON actually answers to them, not the Pentagon. So a lot of people don't realize that as well. But we have another command structure specifically for that part of the world. So hitting the Pentagon wouldn't affect any operations. Command and controls in Italy, I believe. It's public knowledge. You just got to research it. I didn't let go any secrets. Is everyone still there?
I'm here. I'm going to share a screen here that Unbroken was.
Sorry for blowing y'all's minds with this stupid shit. But...
It's all good. Where did it go? There it is.
And don't be scared that I have FBI clearance, guys. I'm not a fucking narc.
These are DZI beads that apparently came from, I think he said it was from a meteor that landed over Tibet.
I did a video on a meteor at Harvard University. Scientists spent 2 years trying to collect, funded by NASA and our tax dollars, to collect an asteroid that the had never been seen before. That was supposedly out of our, kind of like Oompa Goomba. It was out of our realm of natural asteroids. And they spent 2 years looking for it, and they found them, and they were in little bead forms. And I actually showed the video of that. But they found that their conclusion was that it was an alien satellite because it was of elements. It had elements that we have, like uranium and stuff like that. But apparently, like uranium we have is like 135 or some shit like that, and the uranium that was in these little pebbles was like 560.
235, Neil.
Okay, 235. Okay, I'm not real versed at the.
I think it's 235.
Okay, well I know this one was like over twice the number, and it was naturally formed in this little part. And the other elements that it was made of was like astronomically higher than found here naturally on Earth. But that never made public. I did a video on it. I did a report on it.
But that thing JM showed, that looks like something you could fish with or something.
Yeah, it's neat. So
why did you take it down? Put it back up. I wanted to analyze it and see.
Okay.
Now, if you put that in water, would it float or sink?
I think it would sink.
It would probably sink.
But I don't know.
Most elements that make it through as much space to be from out of our area, our realm of space, has to be a very dense material.
Unless it has void space in there, that's the only way. Then it could potentially float. But that's wicked. It almost looks machined.
Dude, it looks like a fucking
like a butterfly thing, like a cocoon.
Polynesian Islander type fucking bead.
There's more.
Like a Tongan, like something you'd find in Tonga or something.
Yeah. It'd be like turds that the Easter Island statues would drop.
Right. Great comment. Well, that's not showing up very nice. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. There's another picture of them.
And they are saying these are all from what?
I believe Unbroken can clarify, but I believe he said it was from a meteor that dropped over Tibet.
My only question is they look so very familiar to, because of the hole in the center that you would like run a string through. It looks like beads that the American Indian would make and trade for currency.
He also said there's a lot of fakes, so like there's a chance.
Those would probably be the fakes, because those holes are just too centerized to be making jewelry with, for it to be. You guys see what I'm seeing when I say the hole at the tips of them?
Yeah, it looks like you put it on a necklace.
Yeah, exactly. And all of them that you can see the tips of, they all have the hole in the same spot. So I don't think I think those would definitely be fake.
But hold on.
Now, see, that one there doesn't look as stony.
So I may be mistaking what I didn't see holes in the ends, and I don't think they wear them as pendants so much. But
I think they drilled them in there.
Who knows? This is the first I've heard about it. I'm just making a quick observation analysis. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, I can tell by the end there's holes in that black one.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like jewelry.
Yeah, and it does look like, okay, so like here.
Yeah. I'd be skeptical of that one because, and I wish I knew how to do like you do on this shit, JM. I wish I could go into my stream and find that one. It's got like ET on it, I'm sure. And show the beads size that the Harvard scientists spent 2 years looking for. It was in the Polynesian waters area, like 200 miles north of Philippines, or no, the islands north of the Philippines, whatever those islands are. It was up in that area below Japan. And they spent 2 years looking for these things, and they were like the size of BB gun BBs. And they were the ones that they confirmed came from that outer stellar universal quote unquote asteroid that hit the planet 10 years ago or something.
Okay.
And they determined the atomic, not weight. It might, yeah, I guess atomic weight of them was out of this world, even though there was the same elements found on this world. They're not found naturally on this world at the weights that they were at, and they were the size of BBs. That you could probably fit them through the hole that thing had. They were so small. I'm surprised they found them. They found them in like, what's it, a mile? No, 3/4 of a mile deep water. So I don't even know how they found it.
Wow, that's wild, Unbroken. This screen that I'm sharing here, if I've got it right, I got to make sure I go back to the right one. Starts top left-hand corner with a one-eyed bead, two-eyed, three-eyed, four-eyed going across the top. I just don't know how large your
I would
screen is.
expect that Unbroken, that they turn the water red from iron, because iron and platinum are the first things that would combine in an asteroid. So they'd be the last things torn away as going through the atmosphere. So they'd be the last things left. I would actually look for platinum around there, actually, believe it or not. If there's some iron in that fucker, there should be some platinum around there, if the iron made it. But you got, I mean, depending on how much credence you put into it, you also have to look at the other side of the coin, which would be our ultimate enemy of Russia and their studies on shit. It's a lot different than what we're told. And then you, of course, have to come up with your own conclusions if it's bullshit or not.
What was it, Neil, you were saying that you wished you could look up?
Wow, dude, man, you need to catch me before I get my second bowl going.
Are you high?
Man, how do you think I get this great information from fucking backing up and looking at the picture, man? I got to back up to stratospheric levels to see the picture. So that, yeah, I'm fucking up there, bro.
Sorry, man.
I need to write down what I talk about so I can remember it 10 minutes after I talk about it.
Still a good. I missed the beginning of the live stream. Can you?
So did I.
Did you? Well, so what were the top side gigs? What was the conclusion on that? Buy and sell.
On what, Tom, on Doc's side gig?
Mhm.
It's a great one to get. You have to develop the relation. It's like any other side gig. You got to put time and effort into it, but it pays off. You know, it's like the chef stacker. It's like Nichols. It's just like everyone's side gig. It's a great side gig if you take the time to pull it off, and they're great relationships to develop. If you do that, you can always make money off of it.
Yeah, I get free stuff sometimes.
It's a matter of the willingness. People are so fucking, I don't know, lazy or what, but it's like everyone wants things given to them, and they don't want to put in any effort to do what it takes.
It's
You know,
the same thing
you
with
do-
singing. Same thing with
Huh?
singing and acting. They just think it's going to be given to them, but they got to do a lot of things to get themselves in a position to get those other
You know,
jobs.
that's the difference between someone who learns one new thing a day and does one new thing every day to improve their position. In a year, they're 365 times better off than the person who didn't.
Yeah, and think about
Matter of
think
just
about
doing
things that
it.
are necessary for survival, right? So, water. Any side gig, I think, where you can be doing like purified water.
Oh yeah, no shit, like that would be awesome if you get, you know, that's like a double positive, or you know, killing two birds
Yep.
with one stone. If you
I'll
got
tell you
time,
another one. Making
beneficial.
ammo. Making ammo.
Yep. Nice.
Whoever does that in the long end, they're going to be like a
Oh,
zillionaire.
hold on a second here. Now you're
Food.
talking. Hold on a second.
And shelter, right? Like if you've got construction skills, kitchen in the kitchen for food, anything to do with water purification. Those are things, you know, in the event of SHTF are going to be in
Making wine. Making
medical.
wine.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. Making wine will be a good one. Making antibiotics will be a good one.
Being able to grow that good stuff, that sticky green stuff.
Here's
Yeah.
another. Here's another one for you that no one thinks about. You guys know what these are? Let me show you.
Kind of looks like part of a chain for chainsaw.
No, they're 22 rounds used to nail in shit to steel. Each of them has black powder to make.
Oh, like a nail gun.
Yeah, basically. Each of them, it already has the granulates needed. All you need to do is come up with a different shell and lead piece, and you have the firing cap, lots of firing caps, and lots of gunpowder. Lots of it. I've got hundreds of these boxes.
That's a good idea.
I already have the means to not reload, but the stuff you need to reload, which is caps and powder.
That brings meaning to the when you say I'm going to nail him.
Well, yeah, I can nail you to a steel wall.
Nailed it.
I've got hold on, I'll go get it actually.
I'll tell you another art that's lost, JM, if he's still here. He's got on mic. He's got on. I'll tell you another one. Being able to salt food to preserve it.
Yep.
It's a lost art. My grandfather, that's how he preserved his meat. He had a house that he hung the meat in, and he salted it, and it would last for I don't know how long.
And smoking it too, right? Like
Yeah.
smoking fish.
Yep.
And
Well,
I don't.
Prior to refrigeration, that's how you had to store meat. You had to salt it.
And I don't claim to be an expert on any of these topics, but I do know a little bit about most of them. Probably learning 200% more than I'm actually sharing.
That's why salt was so valuable in the biblical days. For that purpose.
Yep.
It was worth more than gold.
Yeah, I mean, they had caravans that would go through the Sahara transporting salt. It was that valuable.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the single shot, set up for single shot. And if I want to hook this up right here, it's got
Forget an AR-15. Give me one of those son of a guns.
This is what I'm saying. It's a Hilti. It's basically everything you need to make a bullet. You need to shoot this gun, and it's industrial. As you can see, from Hilti. And yes, that's the company I got it from. The superintendent, Chris Bissner, gave me this while I was in Hawaii. Hawaii. Back in 2019, the company closed down, and I got a lot of tools. I got some killer screw guns too from them. Hilti screw guns, awesome shit. But yeah, what people don't think of when you think of post-apocalyptic times, you think worst scenario, Thunderdome, all this other bullshit. People, oh yeah, let's make rounds. Break it down. Okay, you're gonna make rounds. What do you need? What are some two main things you need before you can even start putting a bullet together that you have to have?
Unbroken wants to know how many silver nickels are realistically out there. Oh man, who would know? Because I mean, a lot of them were melted. We don't know how much constitutional money is still out there because some of it was melted.
How many people are stacking it and not letting it go? They're not telling you. You know, everyone's buying it. If it's a product that can be bought and it's being sold, that means people aren't. They're not everyone's melting it down, bro. 1 in 1,000 are melting it down. The other 999 are hoarding it. So there's probably quite a bit out there in people's pockets. But now every time it happens, when they go to sell back to the big brokers melt it down, and that's what makes it get less and less and more valuable.
Well, remember when they made that? When they made that, you got to go back to the book of the population of the United States and how many people, because they based, I think, how much they produced on what the population was. So think how much we are today. I mean, look how big we are today compared to that. So I could see where constitutional got so scarce you couldn't find it. A lot of people, that's why they get it. They think it'll go up in value just for that reason, because it'll get to the point where you can't find it anymore.
Yeah, they're hoarding it. And when they send it back to the big places melt it down for silver value, which makes there less of it, which makes it more valuable to hoard. Because if they're selling it, people are hoarding it.
And just think about platinum and money. Not a whole lot of it. That's why it's worth a
Don't
lot
too many
more than what
people.
what the amount of platinum is in it, because there's just not many of them.
I wish the people who I know have bought platinum would have bought through my special deal. I'd be wealthy right now, because I know over in the past, since I started last June 2022. I think I started my channel somewhere around there.
But it is money.
I know of. I'm responsible for over $1 million worth of platinum being purchased.
But platinum is money. It is money. It's money.
For
Because it
people
was
who
paid
know,
in money.
well, okay. Technicalities. Okay. Is it money? The American Eagle one is legal tender, and it's worth $100 more than gold.
All right.
But is it the cash money as legal tender worth more than gold? No. Well, yes, but cash money, no, because the spot price is lower. So you have two economic viewpoints of the value. The minted thing you see on it that you go through customs to say, oh yeah, this 1 ounce gold coin's only $50. I paid $2,000 for it, but it's only $50. So you have that monetary look at it, and then the actual value of it. So you got to separate all that stuff.
And really, it's already dislocated.
Yeah, it's real complicated. So platinum really isn't money, but neither are houses. And yet, look at every millionaire out there. They say the way to become a millionaire is real estate, but real estate's not money. So when I say buy silver and platinum, my outlook of it is those two assets are highly undervalued and will greatly gain in value as real estate and houses. You will make a lot of money off of those. Are they money? That's another argument. That's not why I'm coming to the table with. I'm coming to the table with buy it because it's undervalued asset. Buy houses when they're undervalued. Buy land when it's undervalued. Don't go buy them right now.
Well, I can tell you, platinum
that
should
asset
never
mark
be.
is not good.
Platinum should never be.
Silver,
Platinum should never be lower than 1,000, ever.
It costs. There's geopolitical reasons for why platinum is less than the cost to mine it. Cost to mine it is $1,230 an ounce. How much can you buy it for?
It's right now around $900.
It doesn't matter if it's less than $1,230. Ain't nobody making no money off it except for the people selling it in the premium, because the people they're getting it from. There's this thing called an economic war, and you got to ask yourself, now how can a country like a BRICS country like South Africa be held to a standard by the Western countries to where we control the price of platinum and they mine it and used to make money off of it? Now they go back and you say rhodium took off in price. You want to know why rhodium took off in price? If you look at South Africa's lost about $5 billion in the past 10 years on their gold market. They've lost money in the past decade. On platinum, they have lost money in the last decade. The only commodity of the platinum group metals that they controlled the price of was rhodium, because there's so little of it. So they freaking drove the price up to 16,000 from 300, because that's the only way their companies were making money to keep going, to keep their contracts going, because they were contractually obligated for certain amounts. So they had to keep drilling, even though they lost money drilling for this product. And the only product they had control of the price over is rhodium. That's why it's up. The only way they are staying in business is the profit margin off of rhodium, because palladium's getting crapped on. They're not making money on that. They're not making money on platinum. So of the three, they're getting the least of the three is the only one they control the price over. The one they don't sell because they drove it up so high. So they're losing their ass. They're going to go bankrupt soon. They've already told at the beginning of last year that they cut production 15% because of power issues. The end of last year, they started laying people off. What comes after that? Okay, so if the platinum miners go out of business, you have yourself an economic conundrum. Are we going to end all platinum on planet Earth? Hell no. Some other person will come in and take over. Okay, so if that's the case, why is this person losing money and the next person won't lose money doing the same damn thing? Hold on now. Could there be the wrong person at job now, and would there be an economic war going on that we're controlling the price of the product they're paying for to get them out of power so we can put our own guy in there? Sounds like a way to control BRICS' financial future, since China got South Africa into BRICS because of gold, platinum, and diamonds. Diamonds, no longer a big thing, got cut third in value because, as Nichols said, there's 2 other mines now. Okay, gold, boom, since they joined BRICS, they've lost $5 billion in gold. Platinum. So now, why did China get South Africa into BRICS? Obviously for nothing that they're gaining from, because we've crushed it all economically. Welcome to an economic war. It's never been fought before. It's an interesting thing. You sit back and look at the ramifications of the economic part of the war. You'll look at Africa and say, holy freaking shit. Neil's right. Let me invest in some of that crap, because as soon as that economic war ends, platinum goes up to the historic level of a 100-year chart, always being worth more than gold until they joined BRICS, and then the price inverted for the first time in 100 years. Oh, and that's normal. No, that's normal. Ain't nothing fucking normal about it. You look at that chart and you ask why. And then you start finding out the answers why. And you come up with the same conclusions I came up with. Buy platinum, because as soon as South African platinum miners go bankrupt and they change ownership, platinum's going to shoot through the roof. We're fucking China right now. That's why we're on South Africa economically, driving the price down of their platinum and their gold. And gold ain't going to go up in value until they're crushed, because we don't want gold at $3,000 an ounce, because that'll help out South Africa. We're trying to knock them out economically. So hold off on gold, bro. Don't fucking invest in gold right now. No,
it's crazy to
no,
do it right now. It's crazy to do it right now because it's near all-time highs.
Platinum and silver. Invest in platinum and silver until South African gold and platinum miners change ownership. Don't invest too heavily in gold, because someone is keeping the price down to crush them. Consequence of that is no matter how much upward pressure there is, it's always going to get pushed down, because there's an economic war we're shooting at winning. We're killing them on the platinum. We're killing them on the rhodium. They're financially going dead. We killed them on the diamonds. We killed them on the gold. Let's just chill. It's happening. You're not going to fucking prove me wrong by investing in gold now. Oh, you're wrong. It's going to jump to 4,000. No, it's not. Not until Africa changes management. Or
platinum will probably get to 5,000 someday.
Crapped on, and I hear fucking Saudi Arabia is backing out now, or looking at backing out of BRICS. How many other countries are going to back out of BRICS? It's a nothing burger. It's just get high like me. Step back and look at a big picture and see all the bullshit, and you'll see the fake outs. Oh, the quarterback's going to run right. No, he threw left. You dumbass. You took your whole fucking defense to the wrong side. You didn't see
and
that?
also it was to punish Russia too. So
they're part of BRICS, bro. And we already got India. India's not a part of BRICS. They are a part of BRICS, but they're not a part of BRICS. I did a show on this too. Proven freaking fact. They're going for their own reserve currency. Hold on. I can prove that. I've got documentation on my video that proves they're going to be a reserve currency. They're working on it. And the WEF, the World Economic Forum, told them, slow down, don't go so fast. So why is there going to be a BRICS currency that includes a separate Indian reserve currency? Isn't that counterintuitive?
Yeah, if Trump gets elected, India leaves the BRICS. I will make that prediction right
and
now.
China gets crushed, and South Africa gets crushed, and what's left of BRICS? A bunch of shithole countries. Yeah, it doesn't, whatever. Yeah, it's a fake out. It's a fake out right now. There's always games being played. There's a tit for tat. Don't jump on one side of the ship if it starts tilting to the other, because it's going to sway back. Look at the final destination and if the ship's going to make it, and where you want to be when it doesn't or does make it, and shoot for that, and you'll end off in a better position. The short term is not a good game to play right now. Stick with the long-term play, silver and platinum, until they get overvalued. Even housing, land going down, they're saying not invest in it. So obviously it's no longer money. It's only a way to lose what it isn't, which is money. And I never understood that argument either, when people say, oh, platinum's not money. Okay, neither is a house, man. But you can gain or lose your ass, all of your money, on a house, and it's not money. People mix up arguments, and it's frustrating. They can't contain an argument to the economic realities of the precious metal content, the actual value of gain of an investment outlook, and the reality of making money off of anything, no matter what it is. There's this off the top of my head, 3 different investment outlooks on the same product, and everyone, they keep jumping around to make themselves right, and it's frustrating.
Should I call Kenji to come up to?
Only if he's going to sell me platinum at under spot. Yeah, and then don't discount America, man. Anytime you want to find out anything about America, listen to what Japan says and their defense minister. And that'll let you everything you need to know about America and whatever every other country should know about America. Because they still know. Don't fuck with us. We've allowed them to be the 3rd largest spender in defense spending this year. It's like 4% of their GDP is going to their military for the first time since 1944. One tells you that, did they? So I'm not worried about China attacking us when the last people that whoop China's ass is building up a military, and they're a lot closer, and they have our weapons, and we're there too. So yeah, not worried about China. I am worried about their gold, though. They owe us a lot of gold, man. I'm still at awe that we haven't taken them to court as Californians for their bioweapons lab that we found in Southern California. I think we should be suing them for every bit of penny that we've wasted on this medical thing that I can't talk about. Or I'll get another strike. So let's go with another conversation.
They owe the world. They owe the world. They can't even pay the world what they owe them.
Yeah, no. Okay, now JM. Nickel, you're on the right thought process. Think it through. How do they end up paying the world? They have the gold. So we got to get it. They ain't going to give it up. So how do you do that? Well, now you look at how did David Hasselhoff crush the Russian regime?
David Hasselhoff.
This guy knows. He's like, hey, Neil, didn't David Hasselhoff have about 20 gold records that all sold in Eastern Europe at the time the wall was up? And it was a psychological war. And because of music and the esprit de corps that he brought to the music that was allowed into Eastern Russia, that helped unite the people to go against Russia and their form of government. Yes, Neil, that's exactly what happened, but no one talks about it. So yeah, he was very important. It's called psychological war. He played a big part in it and made a lot of money. Made 20 gold records off of that psychological war to bring down the wall. You gotta look at the story. It's kind of cool.
Unbroken.
All of his records sold Eastern Europe when the wall was up. Hardly any of them hit the Western world. By design. Just like Hanoi. What was it? Not Hanoi Sally. That lady in Vietnam that was always on the radio. Hanoi Sally or something like that. She would always talk down the great Americans, say, "No, today is the day you're going to die, you poor Americans."
No, she tell them that their women's got other men and stuff.
Yeah, like that. And stuff like that to degrade and demoralize you and stuff. They played the NBC played that game against America during the Vietnam War, and we played it against Russia during the Cold War. And we are actually now, and I'm surprised we haven't done it yet strongly in China, because if we play that war in China, China will collapse in a heartbeat because their people hate the CCP, bro. I mean, you hear all the stories from out of China. They're not loving their government right now with all the stories you're hearing. They're hating their government.
Unbroken's asking, you think BRICS won't succeed? I can tell you on behalf of Neil, he does not think BRICS.
Not in the format, not in the format that what they're doing. The first of anything never works when you have multiple organizations working at it. Unless everything in the world's thrown at it and the world wants it, will it ever work the first time? What they're doing is they're setting up a pathway for the next thing to come along to be successful. That's what BRICS is doing.
Well, another thing too, look at their customs and where they come from. They're so different. Whereas our confederacy, we got similar religion, we got similar values.
Before that, okay, here, let's think of it. There's 4 of us here right here, just now that we can all talk. Okay, we all join a club. Let's all agree on everything before we do anything. And as we do that, let's bring in 8 more members that are also going to have to agree on everything that we agree on to get anything done. Realistically, how soon do you think we'll get anything done?
That's a wrench in the works.
That's all I'm saying, bro. Just from the logistics of it and what
Right.
they're doing, it's not going to work. They're guaranteeing it's not going to work by the way they're going about trying to make it work. In my viewpoint, it's a failure. And it's the way they're working it is going to fail.
What they'll try to do
is something else. But the
what they're going to try to do is focus on their common goals. That's what a big struggle that all organizations have.
Okay.
Common goals.
I understand that whole argument, but I've got one question to ask about that argument. Do you think a Shiite and a Sunni will be able to come to an agreement on that?
Like, so I don't think so.
And Iran, since they're both in BRICS, even though now Saudi's going to back out. Why? Because Iran's in it, and it's a Saudi Shiite thing. So they've got more problems with the more members they get. That the problems of the members have problems with other members, like Ethiopia and Egypt.
And we have a system where if
you can war with each other in BRICS,
if we have a system where if there's 2 problems between brother countries, it can be settled. We have a system to settle it. Who would settle their problem? Who would be the ultimate judge that would say, "Oh, I looked at both of your arguments and I'm going to side with so and so," but be happy. See, they don't have that type of system like we do. So. I mean, we can appeal. We got places to appeal things to. They don't really have that set up.
I like what Mark Cassidy said. I also like what this right here. The U.S. frozen assets. Well, what happens when Russia starts freezing our assets? They haven't done that yet. That's why I'm not too concerned about the whole damn thing, because it hasn't been a tit for tat between America and Russia. I think Russia knows. I think Putin knows the game.
Well, and you can only freeze the assets that you control or that are on in your financial.
Yeah, we got lots of money in Russia. There's a lot of American money. Where the man in charge right now, and I ain't gonna mention his name because I don't want to get no strikes. The man in charge right now froze U.S. or Russian citizens' oligarchies' assets. That opened the door for Russia seizing all company assets of America's or any Western countries' assets that are in Russia. And trust me, there's billions of dollars of assets in Russia.
Well, China does that all the time. They took Robert Kiyosaki's mine from him. He found gold, and they said, "Thank you very much for that, and we'll just take it out of your hands.
We'll give you a free ticket out of town, and if you stay, we'll give you a free bullet. Your choice."
Yeah.
Thank you for finding us our gold.
And you're right too, Neil, about the money. I was just thinking about it. I know a lot of the big institutional money managers, like pension fund managers, insurance companies, are invested in funds that are called BRICS, right? Like BRICS Growth Fund or BRICS Advantage Fund. And people have been dumping their money into that for a long time, betting on BRICS.
Yep.
And even like BRICS Index Fund.
Yep. When I had my IRA, before I did away with it, I was heavy in on Asian assets.
Yeah.
Because they tell you that's where all growth is going to be.
To me, JM, that's a signal that they're going to fail. If Wall Street's betting on them, they're going to fail.
Yeah, I was too, Nickel, and I bought a Vietnam ETF, and it's down. It's down like 30%.
Mother Teresa had it most right when she said she was asked to join the war on poverty or something like that. And she said, "Nah, you guys tend to lose all the wars you want to fight like that. Why don't you have a war on peace so we can all be happy?"
Yeah.
One other thing.
Imagine if our government had a war on peace with the failures that we have going now. We'd fail so big time on that. We'd have peace around the world.
Wars wars aren't meant to be won anymore. It's too profitable.
That's why I'm surprised the war I was in, we won. And then I stepped back after I was out. I had the young, dumb, full of cum thing. I had the adrenaline thing. I had all that shit going for me back then. I was like more hyped up and shit. And I didn't think things through as much back then. But looking now back at it, well, actually a long time ago, I looked back at it. And I put together the dots. And with all the equipment and shit that we had in the time, basically the reason why that war was so drawn out was we had to flush our inventory and put new shit in our fucking stockpile. And we had to do that. We had to legitimately get rid of all of our bombs and missiles. And that's why the air war lasted 6 months. We had to get rid of our inventory.
You
Basically,
talking about the first Persian Gulf?
1991 war,
Yeah.
where I was in. And that's the reason why we won, because we were getting rid of old inventory, Vietnam and Korea bombs that we still had we had to go through. Because I was issued camos, because they didn't have desert fatigue, so we weren't ready to fight in the desert. We had no anticipation of ever fighting in the desert. We were still set on the fucking.
So the second Gulf War, I do not believe. Surely Bush could not be that stupid to think he could make Iraq like a Western country. There's no way. There's no way you could do it. I knew that before we went. I said, you're not going to be able to do that.
Well, I mean, Iraq was fairly advanced before we destroyed it.
You do know.
It's Afghanistan. Afghanistan was the one that I mean, nobody's conquered Afghanistan successfully since Genghis Khan.
Yeah, but you know, Afghanistan don't believe in banks. Syria doesn't believe in the banking system. And I think that's kind of what it was. I think we were trying to get our banking system in there.
You struck a tone, Nickel. I don't know if you realize how right you are. Yeah, and they're also, Afghanistan's building a river down the middle of their country to irrigate so much land that they plan on, and have already stated publicly, by 2028. And I did a video on this, that they're going to be a wheat producer to the world. So the whole world's dynamic food production is going to shift, especially with as much destructions happening with our food supply. So by 2028, that Afghanistan is going to be a world producer of food. Isn't that weird?
It is. I got another weird one for you that I just heard recently. Is if you're familiar with diesel engines, they require that DEF, diesel exhaust fluid,
Yeah.
and that one of the elements in that is primarily being sourced from Russia.
Yeah. By the way, Unbroken, I thought it was a funny movie too. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on that people aren't talking about. That.
Are you still going for a bit, Neil? How much longer?
My longest stream is 5 hours, so we still have 2 hours and 20 minutes if you want.
Okay, well, I'm going to take a quick refreshment break, and I'll be right back.
Right on. Yeah, I'm starting up some tea. I'll disappear to put some sugar and some honey and some cinnamon in my cup, and then put the hot water in there, let it sit, and then I'll disappear to get some milk.
Yeah, guys, and I have to sign off. So you all have a great night and great evening, and hopefully we'll talk next week.
Right on. You have a great one. I'm going to try and catch up with chat and what people are saying. You take care, Wealth of Nations. Thank you for being here, brother.
My pleasure.
Unbroken, you have a good point there. Now, there's a lot of things they're not taught nowadays. I actually do remember being taught that you needed, and I don't know if it was just because I went to European schools, but you needed 3 retirements. Don't count on just Social Security as your only retirement. That's only 1/3. You're supposed to have had 3 retirements in your lifetime to retire comfortably, and no one ever talks about that. And older people aren't living comfortably, and they're all talking, "Oh, I got Social Security." What? Oh, you got Social Security? Well, I was taught. I don't know what school it was at or what country it was at, but I was taught you needed 3 to live comfortably in retirement. That is why I'm a union iron worker. That's my second. You got Social Security, the union iron worker retirement, and I'm still 1 short. So I'm coming up with side gigs to where I got my 3rd income for retirement. And now, of course, union retirement is probably not going to be there. Social Security probably not going to be there. So I'm kind of fucked. But
my Social Security is my sword.
Is what?
Because I know I can count on it, and I don't expect I'll get anything in Social Security because it's going to go under, and I'm not going to get anything out of it.
Yeah, I don't get it collected for another 6 years, and I don't anticipate it's going to. If I am lucky enough to collect anything, like Alan Greenspan said, the purchasing power of it can't be guaranteed. I actually, every 10 years they send something. I was supposed to, at 62, I max out this was like 8 years ago when I got it. It was like $2,700 a month or some shit like that's what I was supposed to get. I'm sure they've cut that, but then they re-raise it or whatnot. But I hate to think
JM's in better shape than we are. I bet his Social Security he'll probably be okay. Us, America,
from Canada.
no. Yeah.
Canada is not going to have their government system. I actually foresee a very good possibility of Canada being part of America by easily 2030. if that government.
That's a good question to ask him. He walked away. He stepped away. That's a good question to ask
no,
him. What kind of a situation is his Social Security type? Whatever they have, what is it in? Is it in bad shape like us? Or is it?
Well, I know when my mom, she she took 10, and this whole immigration thing nerks me off because she spent 10 years becoming a legal American citizen because she was not when I was born. I was actually the only one born in America. And she gave it all up and went back to Scotland and, lived her Scottish retirement out. And they treated her a hell of a lot better with the Scottish retirement system that they have going over there for her. But she only had like $700 a month Social Security. You're not supposed to have that. There's no way, and that was the only income she had in America. So if she was to live over here, she'd have been on the streets. But so she went back to her homeland,
and it's also here it's what you paid into it. So like my brother and his wife, they make a killing on it. I'm going, I can't believe y'all drawing that much Social Security. Well, that's what they based on their income, what they paid into it. So I'm going, man, you making more Social Security than I make with my job, my business. So
yeah. No, well, for 30 years I've been doing iron work and I've been throwing a lot of money at that motherfucker. Out here in California, as far as iron workers pay, there's only one local that gets better than us, and that's New York. So
the people that'll hurt is waitress. They don't report their tips, and therefore they would have better income. They don't pay in.
Those are what I call, and I don't feel sorry, and I don't care if anyone likes or dislikes. Everyone's got a price to pay. You make choices and decisions, and if you want to run through life and screw in the system by not, declaring your total wages, that's cool. But there are prices to suffer for that. So when it comes around and you get your Social Security and it's minimal amount, remember you didn't pay into it. So don't cry about it.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. So let's say they don't report their tips, but they buy silver with it. Maybe they're the smartest ones. They may end up.
And in which case they wouldn't be bitching because they would be smart. And they wouldn't be saying they wouldn't be saying that. What they would be talking about is, hey, I took those tips, didn't report them, and I went and took that fake money and bought some real silver, and I've done well. Yeah, that's what you wouldn't be hearing them say anything about Social Security because they'd have hundreds of ounces of silver to sit on, thousands probably.
They would be saying how fair it is. Great. Okay, JM, you're back. How's your Social Security, whatever y'all have in Canada? Is it in good shape, bad shape, going under, what?
Good question. And, anyone that hasn't been interviewed by Nickel yet, definitely consider it. If he invites you to be a guest on his show, he's a great interviewer.
Most people turn me down, believe it or not.
Really?
So,
what's that?
That's their lot.
I don't know if they're intimidated or they're scared I've had a bunch of people turn me down. Some will say yes, but they'll never get back to me. So,
a wise man recently told me, JM, people are funny. Right? You never know. Like I like most people that I meet, but it's weird. You put people in different situations, and like you said, maybe they're just intimidated or uncomfortable. I think a lot of people visualize things and they can see themselves doing something in their mind, but when it comes to actually doing it, they back out. So,
and the ones that do it, they'll tell me after, hey, that went too bad. I that was good. That's what they'll tell me. But going in, they're kind of nervous about it. So,
I think it's funny as hell when people say, "Oh, but I'm scared," because my family motto are from the Sutherlands since and my brother tracked down our family tree. Goes back to Norway, 1070s as early as we could go back with the actual town location of where the my family, that side of the family came from. Yep. And ever since they got to Scotland from Norway, the family motto is Sans Peur, meaning fear nothing or fearless. And we've always, the Sutherlands that I know, and myself and even my brother, have never feared anything. Fears. I've always believed fear is the mind killer. It will naturally prevent you from doing what you could naturally do, all because of self-induced fear. Because no one's going to strike fear in you about jumping off the high rise in a swimming pool. That's your own self-induced fear. So you lose a lot.
Being prudent is important, and like I strongly believe in safety first.
Safety is different for everybody. You know, like I said, jumping off the high dive of a swimming pool is safe. But how many people go up to that, 3 meter and do it?
Yeah.
You know,
well, most people got to work up.
They
got to work up to it,
and it's safe.
So before we forget, back to your Social Security, whatever y'all call it. There, is it in good shape, bad shape, going under, and how about you, like waitresses there? I mean, they probably get tips. Do they report it, or do they try to say, "Hey, I'm going to keep that"? And then does that affect their? It's how much you pay in is how much you get back, or is it standard set? I mean, I don't know how Canada works.
So I think, and I don't know exactly either, like how many of us people really understand how everything works intricately. But my understanding is, let's say that I'm a bartender or a waiter, in the service industry that's known to get tips. Our IRS here is called Revenue Canada. And if you don't report, I think they want you to report at least 5% or 10% of your hourly wage, or your actual earned income. They want you to add 10% of that as a tip when you file your taxes. They want you to do that on your own, and if you put 0, they'll probably question you. They kind of assume that.
Are they armed like ours is going to be?
No, it's guilty until proven innocent.
Here, like the way it is Trudeau is nasty. Like I could honestly just see him. He wouldn't even bother doing it that way. He'd just put a lien on your house or on your car,
or take your bank account if you can close it.
Like he just operates incredible. So, does that answer your question about how that works?
Yeah, it sounds like you got a dictator. So
yep. And then the Social Security, as far as I know, is in terrible shape. It's no better than per capita than it is in the States. Even when people used to think about, or at least I think they did, about Canada's having a good healthcare system, and really 30 years ago it wasn't too bad, but now they're talking about how if you go to emergency at the hospital, average wait time is 15 hours.
Wow, that's here too.
Almost 40% of the Canadian population do not have, they call it a GP, a general practitioner, or a family doctor here. 40%.
We have a shortage.
Yeah. And, we have the same sort of immigration issues here too, where the flooded inflow is incredible. But they're not coming through illegally through a border here. Here they're just being invited by Trudeau. He's just saying, "Come on down."
Yeah.
And then they wonder why
that's the reason
why the housing costs are just going insane. Because if you keep immigrating 20% of your population, but you're only adding 2 or 3% to your housing, what do you think's going to happen?
It's going to make housing explode.
10-4.
All planned. And that's why I think Canada is going to be part of America, because of the blatant infiltration from the north, because of the immigration or lack of immigration policies that your current leadership does not use, allowing bad people to just walk across.
I think it's all about the money and the power.
But you probably have limits, don't you? So, like, let's say I made $10 million a year, and I paid in my percentage to you. They probably have a limit set though how much I can draw back. In other words, I don't get extra because I gave 10 million. I get the same as somebody paid in was making 200,000 a year and paid in. Is that correct? I'm sure they do have a limit set.
Into Social Security.
Yeah.
That's right. I think generally speaking, if you were making 50,000 a year and paying in, and you were making $1 million a year, your entitlement on
the same.
The other side would be about the same. But if you were only made 20,000 a year, it's probably would be a little bit less.
Yeah.
Then they've got all these. They keep adding amendments and different ways of doing it, and then they do club. So if in retirement, say you've got other company pensions and other sources of income coming in, then they'll do a clawback on your Social Security payment, and you could actually end up getting nothing.
Well,
So-
I think they talked about doing that here too. But now, let's say you got cancer. I mean, I hope you don't. But let's say tomorrow you went and he said, "Hey, man, we tested you twice. It's cancer." How
Right.
long would it take you to start getting treatment for cancer with your health system?
Well, they would give you you'd be in on chemo and all that sort of thing really fast. Really fast.
That.
I don't have cancer. I've never been diagnosed with cancer, at least not what you call it active. I think everyone has cancer cells, but most of them are.
Oh yeah, no, everybody has cancer.
Yeah. But my brother got cancer 3 years ago. And man, like they were putting him through the chemo and everything, but he went and paid out of his own pocket to get extra treatments that are not included.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the homeopathic or holistic, and not like he was getting vitamin C boosts
aren't included.
That's right, and that was terribly expensive.
Same here.
Same as like chiropractic.
As a matter of fact, it's illegal. Some of the holistic medicines have been made illegal in America.
Like chiropractic is not covered here, so that's an expense that's burdened me for decades. And it used to be covered.
Move to America, man.
I would. The only problem is I see that America's kind of moving very similar direction to Canada.
It is.
Nah. See, if you come out here and you join a iron workers union, you get a free chiropractic.
There you go.
For how long?
That's what I'm saying. You come over here. I mean, yeah, we might be going in that direction, but right now it's a lot better. I don't take advantage of it because I don't go down that way. I go a different, holistic medicine way than just cracking.
Well, with experimental stuff, you have to go to Mexico, but just about.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's and I don't want to say it because it's medical shit, but there's a certain individual that cured cancer back in 1945, and Congress came up with Cure for Cancer Act back in 1945, and then they shelved it when the insurance companies found out about it, and they made that guy's nutritional medicine practice illegal, and it had to move to Mexico to operate. Until this day, it is still 100% healing people of whatever it is they go down there for, and that's all I'll say. Staying off the medical stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna get Neil in all kinds of trouble.
Boy, howdy! I gotta keep it on my.
You're gonna send the YouTube police home. They're gonna bust the door down. They're gonna say, "Man, what you talking about, man?" They're gonna put him under YouTube arrest.
Don't tell the truth about medicine. That fucking pisses people off.
Now would be a good time to run that ticker that says everything on this channel is for entertainment purposes only.
Man, if you can't tell that by the host. I mean, look at this.
Look at Wolf Majigger. I mean,
Chad Wolf.
Yep. Yeah, Chad Wolf. What in the heck?
Steinhausenberger Dolfer.
Yeah, he says fenbendazole, 222 milligrams daily.
No, don't say shit like that. That's medical shit. Don't do medical shit. No medical shit. No medical shit. No advice. No specifics. I've gotten 3 strikes in the past year over medical advice, medical shit, medical truths, all the same, but still. I can't be having. We're running on 1 strike right now, actually, because of medical stuff.
Yeah.
There's lots of things they found out, and this isn't medical. This is kind of magician kind of shit. Sound waves. They found actually, I think it's between 400 and 600 megahertz sound wave will actually destroy a leukemia cancer cell and no other cells around it. It'll cause them to implode or explode, which is kind of cool. And it's more directed than radiation therapy on cancer cells. For at least
Well,
that.
I think we all have cancer cells. It's just a matter of whether they multiply or not.
No, it's whether or not they're turned on.
Yeah.
Same as with the bee. I discovered in my 6 years of studying honeybees to come up with a possible cure for colony collapse. I found out that the bee's immune system is actually not turned on. They need access to mushrooms and the mycelial network close to the surface, the soil, and the dew more specifically. And they need to drink that. And if they do that, that turns their immune system on. And instead of, as the experts say, bees live for 12 to 16 weeks, they actually live for a year if their immune system is on. And as I often tell people, if you do experiments on a critter, make sure it's healthy. Because if you do experiments on a critter that's not healthy, all of your shit is invalid. So all bee shit that they've done on the bee health is invalid because all the bees they did it on lived 12 to 6 weeks, which means that bee's immune system was not turned on and it was unhealthy.
Dang.
And you didn't know enough about bees to figure that out.
Shows how easy the numbers can have no bearing to reality.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Official numbers.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's fucking crazy, man. People think they're smart. They're just like, I mean, yeah, just stay on that one line for the rest of your life and don't waver a millimeter. And you know what the fuck you're talking about. You move off that line, you're a dumbass. People get too narrow scoped in their intelligence.
I think if I moved to the States, I'd want to move East Coast.
Do Northeast Alabama, my friend.
How about this? You paid into the system, correct? So you wouldn't want to give all that up. Why not just come right across the border and have?
Dude, you don't have to give it all up, man. You can move. You can live here in America.
See, like
same situation as my mom faced as being a Scottish citizen living here in America for like 40 years, and
like
her
Vermont?
best friend who's French and still lives in Michigan for like 50 years, but still a French citizen, married to a retired Navy guy, but she's still a French citizen after 50 years. Same issue.
Vermont, New Hampshire, or Maine would all be a attractive spot for me to to move to if I did.
Look at Alabama.
Alabama, yeah. Alabama.
Seriously, price-wise, and I don't want to let this out to too many motherfuckers because you're going to get the price will go up. East of the Mississippi, Alabama is the gold state in America. It's got the most gold per capita of any state east of the Mississippi. West of the Mississippi is California. All of America is California, Alaska, Alabama, for as far as gold in the ground. So you can actually make money off of land that you buy, and land's like $2,500, $3,000 an acre. You can get 100 acres for $300,000, man. 100
Well,
acres.
Mississippi's cheap to live. And,
yeah, but it ain't got gold in the ground.
Yeah, well, but it's cheap to live. You just got to avoid those water moskins. But if you can avoid those.
It's mountainous. It's got the southern tip of Appalachians. Got all 4 seasons. Lots of
a lot of houses in Mississippi, they're up on what would you call it? Pegs or stilts?
Stilts, yeah.
Yeah, and them water moskins love underneath those. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, man, you in Northeast Alabama, you're within 60 miles of Chattanooga, 90 miles of Atlanta, 60 miles of Huntsville. Still far enough away, but close enough to big metropolitans where you're an hour away from 3 different
I know
states.
for a fact Alabama's better than living in California. That,
Oh,
So
hell yeah.
let's
And
say
that's
I
why
moved to the States. Let's say I moved to the States and I set up a business there. Let's say a pet care business. And I started making, say, 100,000 a year. How much tax do you think I'd have to pay on that?
it depends. Did you set up an LLC?
No.
Well, if you set up an LLC, you probably wouldn't have to pay fucking hardly any tax, bro, because every
Okay.
expense would be a tax deduction. Your clothing, your shoes that you use to walk, the leashes, your pay, the pay that you have to pay your LLC for renting part of the house you're staying at. You know, if you work it right, you wouldn't have to pay hardly a penny, Dan.
What if it was 100,000 a year profit though? So the income's 100,000 more than
Yeah,
all the
profit.
expenses.
Oh, more than all those expenses?
Yeah.
Well, then you take all lots of other deductions, like you start another another LLC, and oh, this sounds funny, but you start an LLC that owns you.
would
So
this
it
be out
takes
of your
care of
house?
your needs, because without you, you couldn't operate your dog walking business. So
Yeah.
you're the most
Would
valuable
kennels?
asset.
Would you have?
Second LLC
Would you have?
would cover your whole life's expenses, and therefore that would be a tax deduction.
Gotcha.
Would you
See
have
what I'm saying?
kennels, separate
Multiple
kennels, or would it
LLC.
be out of your home?
It could be anywhere as long as you're paying U.S. tax that you want to be. If you're out of state of America, why are you paying U.S. tax? You know,
The best way to do it would actually be to have a pretty large residence and like an actual like professional style barn, um, depending on the weather. So where what you could do is in the house you could rent um, different sections, especially if there's different units. Like say there was 3 to 5 1-bedroom units in the structure, whereby you could rent some of that to employees,
see, you'd want
or
to more
give them
difference.
free rent, right, as a benefit.
See, here's a shot for you, JM. Again, Northeast Alabama. Even though it's Alabama, you could still be within 20 miles of Chattanooga, Tennessee, major metropolitan, 600,000 to 800,000 people. You can get 100 acres, make a dog park, and take all the dogs to the dog park. It's only 20 minutes downtown Chattanooga, so you'd have more than enough clients. And then you just bring them all, and you could also what is it called? Like when people go out of town, instead of having dog sitters, they take them to kennels and
Yeah.
holds them
Yep.
there. There's a name for
I
that.
was going to ask him. I was going to ask him that. Do you just walk, or do you actually like babysit, where they stay for a couple of days with you?
Yeah, currently I do both. And so when a
Okay.
customer asks, can you take my dog or can you stay at my place, I will try to accommodate them. So I'll do it like an out service or an in service for them, as long as logistically I can do it. But most of the time I'm able to. So that's very cool.
And I want to address Chad's statement there. Prices are cheaper in Alabama. It's really not hard to make more than 20,000 there because, again, just like I pointed out to JM, if you live Northeast Alabama, you can get to Chattanooga within 20 to 60 minutes. You could make Tennessee downtown metropolitan hay and live in Alabama.
But that's too far south for me because most of my physical network of friends and family are here. So
that's why you need to expand the networks. That way, when something else happens, they can go even further south.
yeah.
And you could also, if you find little small gold particulates on your land, you could start selling bags of gold. Stand. Let people pan their
They make pretty good money with these kennels around here. They
See,
get good
and
money for that.
that's another thing. Like I would be concerned about Americans looking at me and saying, "Hey, man, you're taking our freaking jobs. There's lots of us
Yeah.
that can do it."
Hold on a
Like,
second. Or hold on a second. So if you start your own company, you're taking their jobs.
right? If you're hiring, as long as
There's a
you're hiring,
there's a stupidity about that I just can't handle without saying something about it. For one, if you started the company, this is America. You look at them and say, "Hey, this is America. Start a company. Be my competition, stupid."
Yeah.
Until then, I'm smarter than you. I actually did it. Why don't you? It's America after all, right?
good
Turn it
answer.
right back on them. Turn it right back on them. You're taking our jobs. That's only because you're too stupid to start your own shit. And you've got someone else you want to hire, and you only want to work for Americans. It's because you're dumb. That's why you're poor.
That's
really
that's the
like
advice I give people. That's the advice I give people. I say not only be your own bank, but be your own boss, because there's got to be something that you have experience in that you can at least even part time do as a business. And then when there's losses, you're not going to lose all your customers, so you're going to have some type of income coming in. And I've always tried to tell people that. And I mean, nobody ever says anything when I say that in videos. I don't get any responses at all from that. Like you're right, or no, or I don't get nothing out of that.
That's okay. You're expressing your opinion, and some people don't want to state their opinion, but that's fine. I think you're absolutely right. You do. That's the more rules you have on you, the less free you are. If you are your own boss, then you have less rules on you than if you have an employer. But it's riskier too.
Well, yes, and that's why you got to kill more birds with one stone. And that's why I say Northeast Alabama, because you're close enough to the metropolitans where you can get more than enough business. You can expand the business by having a kennel where you keep them over the week or something like that. Plus, you can
Better
have
weather. Better weather in Alabama.
Land.
Good earthquakes. Better
And
weather.
Well, I don't know about better weather. It's comparative compared to Hawaii. No, it's not. Compared to Alaska, yeah, it is. Compared to where he said Maine, fuck yeah, it's a lot better weather. And you have a chance on your free times and there's a good possibility the land you get, if it's 100 plus acres, will have a river or a creek on it, which means your chance to find a couple ounces a year of gold on your own property is pretty good if you take the time to look for it on your property. So it's a good way to make, if they do reevaluate gold to 68,000 or whatever, and you find 1 or 2 ounces on your land every year, that's 120,000 plus you just found on your land. And Alabama is east of the Mississippi. It's the gold capital of America.
I tell you, I wouldn't mind having a dog babysitting service, so to speak. Watch. I think that'd be kind of cool. I like dogs. I wouldn't mind doing that. For a future job or something. And I thought about doing my own auction system. I thought about doing that when I get later, when I don't do the lawn service anymore. I thought about that too. So I'm going to do something. I'm going to be doing one of those.
Another reason why I think in either northeast or north central Alabama is because if it's northeast, I'll be between Chattanooga and Huntsville. If it's north center or center east, I'll be between Birmingham and Alabama. Still 60 to 90 miles away from either or, depending on where the land is, but still within a draw for population, because the land I want to own and starting off with, I want to turn into a Renaissance festival, because those things can make you 6 figures a year very easily. And
another great business is, especially if you're in any tourist areas, where there's cottage owners, is doing cottage patrol. So like some people, will rent their cottages out, or they'll be there for 3 months of the year. They're not there all the time because it's their vacation property.
Yeah.
And so what that is making sure people aren't breaking into it. You can have different levels. For example, you can do a walk through their house, make sure that there's no burst pipes, everything's good. The hydro didn't go out or whatever. Cottage patrol.
That's interesting. I don't want to. I don't have to be responsible for other people.
Well, that is like in some of the tourist areas here. My one buddy was actually doing that, and I put business cards together for him, and he did pretty good.
Yeah,
Only did it for a couple of years, but
I want to create business in an area where there is no business, and I want to be able to go to that town hall and say, "Hey, your grocery store, your gas station, they all made money this weekend because I brought in 30,000 cars that you wouldn't have gotten if it wasn't for my business. You made a shitload of money off of my business. Why are you giving me shit about my business?"
Yep.
That's the kind of business I want to have.
And hey, Unbroken 1010.
Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, it's no, no.
Question: why is everyone using a kennel? Sounds like they hate their pets, and that's right. I disagree with the caged kennels. The way that I would want to do it is like a 5-star luxury pet sitting. And what you have to do then is, in order to accept a new customer, you have to integrate them with the dogs that already live there, right? And then what happens is they get a very relaxed, sort of home environment. The idea with the barn would even be the same thing there too, whereby at least one employee overnight, if there was dogs in there, would be staying in there with them. So the dogs would never be alone, and they'd definitely never be in a cage. Let's say for more than 15 or 20 minutes.
I actually saw a post of some sort of it just came to me right now, and I remember it, and I don't recall anything about the post other than the person did a small size house for a bunch of dogs and stuck a lot of couches and chairs in there. Yep. The dogs just all felt comfortable being able to get on the couches and chairs that there was there before them in a house type setting, even though it wasn't like a full house.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember seeing the picture, but I don't remember anything about the article that picture was about. But I recall that it was a positive message about how the dogs felt when they were allowed to just chill out in places that typically they're not allowed to, which is on the furniture.
Yep. And the other thing with dog sitting services that's really important is every dog that's physically and medically able to go for a walk goes for at least 1 or 2 walks every day with the group of other dogs that are there. So it's not like they're just stashed in I hate to see that, someone's like, oh yeah, I'm going to kennel my dog, and you take a look at the kennel and the dog, it's in a freaking cage.
Yeah, that's what they do with pit bulls.
That's not nice.
No, it's not.
It's stressful.
Oh yeah, you want it to be the best time of their life, because many dogs are extremely sensitive, believe it or not. Even the big aggressive dog, they're very, very sensitive, and they will get separation anxiety when their family drops them off somewhere and fucks off on them for 2 weeks, right? So you got to make sure that you're giving them a better time than they have at home, or at least, as comfortable.
Positive experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a dog, our neighbors, when they went out of town, and they would leave it there, and some of the neighbors would look in on it. That dog got so depressed, you wouldn't believe it. Would not move, it would just sat there, it wouldn't do nothing. And, so yeah, I can see what you're talking about.
A couple breeds out there people need to get psychological checks on before they should own that breed, because that breed is a very specific design breed.
And when they're young too, like I did get a couple jobs for dog sitting where the owner took off out west for 3 weeks with his daughter, but his dogs were senior citizen dogs, and pretty much all they do is just sleep all day anyway. And so my job was to stop in on them 3 times a day and take them for 2 walks a day and feed them twice, give them their medications. And then one of the other daughters was there as an emergency contact as well in the same town. And those dogs were fine. Like every time I show up, they were sound asleep. As I'm leaving after, taking them for a walk and feeding them and everything, they're going and laying down on their bed. But that's like senior citizen dogs. Once they already know the drill. A young, high energy dog is not going to do well being left alone for hours on end.
Not without
yeah.
the run.
Chico, my Chihuahua, when he was a baby, you ought to see what he did when I left. Toilet paper. he would chew up pillows. It'd be stuffing stuff out everywhere. Yeah, he carried on. He grew out of it, but he did not like me to ever be gone from him. And they did. I mean, little young ones. Yep.
Separation anxiety.
My experience with the Basenji, it's an African dog. It was when I was really young. We had bunk beds. I stayed on the top bunk, and this Basenji chose me, the youngest person of the family. I was like 5. Chose me as its owner. So every time we left, it blamed me, and it would climb up the ladder to get to the top bunk bed, and tear my bed apart for leaving him at the house when the whole family left. That dog could climb a ladder. Like that. Not one like that, but like that.
I wanted to ask Annie, was it a book or 2 books that you had recently read? I would guess that you had recently read them or handled them, because what a dog does is under separation anxiety, because their noses are so strong, they'll go to anything that gives them the scent of the person or their owner or what they miss. And that's why frequently you'll see a dog will chew up someone's shoes or their socks, or anything like that.
Or the cats will fall asleep in the laundry basket.
Hey, man, I had a roommate that had 3 cats, and he was not diligent on cleaning out their kitty litter. And
oh, man.
The one morning, I woke up and the kitty litter, the cat, one of the cats had dragged my roommate's underwear out of his bedroom into the bathroom where the kitty litter was, and dragged his underwear into the kitty litter and pissed and shit on his underwear.
Good for the cat. People
That's
wonder
what I told
why.
him too. I said, well, you got to clean its kitty litter out. Like, what are you doing?
Like, fucking shit, leaving our shitter dirty. Check this out, bitch. No, I've got 3, 6. I got 7 litter boxes, and a trick I use for the smell is Armor Ham and baking soda, like one box for every 2 litter boxes, and it takes care of that cat smell. But I clean them daily. But still, sometimes that fucking ammonia smell, it goes away with if you add that Armor Ham and baking soda to it.
Yeah, Annie. So I can pretty much assure you that your little puppy loves you so much. When you were gone, your little puppy was probably whining, wanting you to come back, and then went to those books and was chewing them, trying to get you to come back, thinking that chewing it could bring you back.
Yeah,
That's
mine did this sound, because the people that were nearby said he would go, yeah. That's what he would do. It was pitiful. I come in, and heard him. I go, man, that is pitiful sounding. So.
Yeah, camera on a pet. I don't think I'd want that. My inside cats don't leave the house, so it doesn't matter if I put a camera on them. I see what they see.
I'll tell you a story about that too. I had the old answering service on my phone. I would call Chico up during the day and talk to him on the answering machine. It would go on, go into my answering. I'd leave a message, and I would talk to him. I would talk to him doing that.
Right on.
I must be a nut. People think I'm a nut. Oh
no, it's true. I've done that when dogs sitting for people. If they call me and I'm with their dogs, I'll put them on speakerphone.
Oh yeah.
So the dogs can hear them, and they'll call them out. Oh, hi Julia, hi Minnie, and the dogs' heads perk. They're like, "You're okay, you're good." And then the dog's all happy. They're like, oh, it's not the same as the person being there, but they're like, okay, I know that my person is okay because I hear their voice.
I leave my TV on when I have to work. When I do iron work, I have to be on for like 10 to 12 hours a day. I just leave the TV on for the cats.
Put it on a music, like if you can put it on through the internet, like relaxing music or sleep music or healing music. Whatever you do, buddy, don't leave CNN on for your pets. Okay, guys, this is a public service announcement. It will mess your pets up.
They'll start yelling at you for no reason.
Yeah.
Tearing
They'll come home and their
Tearing up
fur
your
will
red
be all
hats.
dyed pink and green and blue. They'll come home with piercings. Just kidding.
No, that's a good idea. I wouldn't grace my videos with that content, but I don't watch any news because I don't think I can trust any of it. And I don't believe my city council here in town because I know I can't trust them. So that's kind of why I do all my own
And
research.
also, too, make if you're going to leave them, make sure that you watch your trash cans because they sure will get in them. So,
I got some well-disciplined animals, I guess. I got my two youngest. I've still gotta get them straight with the trash can, but the other five, don't fuck with the trash can.
Chad's last comment there is pretty good. I have customers tell me that, Chad, that their dogs know when I'm going to show up, but not 20 minutes before. They're like 3 to 5 minutes before you show up. The dogs go running to the door where you come in. And it doesn't matter if I show up at, for example, 11 in the morning or 11:30 or 1:30 in the afternoon. Somehow the dogs know that.
they have an internal clock. They do that with school kids. Come on the bus.
Yeah.
Those dudes know when that bus is coming. Now they could hear it because buses make squeaking sounds and all that other, but they know when it's time for them kids to come home from school.
Yeah. Right.
And they also know before an earthquake's going to hit. Watch your dog. They'll tell you.
Yep.
It's going to
They're
happen.
very, very sensitive to energy. For sure.
Nothing wrong with cats, but I'm a dog person. That's all I'm saying. I don't hate cats, but I just like dogs better. I mean, I think I just do better with dogs. Cats are okay, I guess. I've had some cats that were pretty cool. I'd work on a mower, and this cat that I guess it was loose, it would come up there and sit beside me and look at me like, "What are we doing today?" So I mean, cats are okay, but
you just
I
gotta
still prefer a dog.
understand the animal. All animals are cool.
Yeah, most cats like me. The problem is my mild allergy to their dander.
I tell you what, I got a majority of the cats that I have indoor because they're outdoor mama cat. Before I captured them and got them taken care of where they can't have babies, they give birth to them right outside my front door, basically telling me to take them.
Yeah.
So I guess I got a good relationship with cats.
I don't know if
Yes,
cats. The cats have an internal clock. I never really had one for a pet. Like they know you're going to come in at a certain time, and they know, or they don't care.
Cats are their own creature. Some of them do. I did a little video, small one, my shorts on kitty cats, just I think today or yesterday, where I was filming the two little boys, the ones that got Silver and Striker, and they were having fun and whatnot. And then both of them at the same time noticed me filming them, and they like stopped having fun and both ran towards me. So I don't know if they're like that when I'm gone or not, but cats are like that too. It's just not all cats. But I do find like 4 of my 5 older cats, my 2-year-olds, by the front door when I come in. And the other one's probably not around because they'll be sleeping on my electric blanket or something.
What's your thoughts on cats being declawed?
Not a good idea.
I agree. I think it's awful.
It's well, cats can live for about 20 years. So if you're not going to commit to that cat having the best life possible, indoor and indoor only for 20 years, don't even think about it.
Yeah. Do you have I've never seen your cats on scratching post or anything like that. Do you have to trim their nails or?
They use my back.
Your back is their scratching post.
How do you think they get up here?
Yeah. Well, I know your leg is for sure.
Oh yeah, no, I'll be. Little Striker does it the best. He'll find one of his lower spots. I'll walk by. He'll jump on my leg as I'm walking and climb up my leg to get up my shoulder as I'm moving. Guys got these nuts.
Hey man, that's a great way for you to get more views on your shorts videos. Is build a funky ass scratching apparatus for the cats. With a ball that's hanging down and all the carpeted different zones on it. And catch them playing on that.
I could do fishing with kitties. I've done that a few times.
I saw one of those.
Yeah, I got a small fishing rod or something, and they're all looking at it, jumping at it, and shit.
Yeah.
But after I'm done doing that, I got like a half hour of shit to put up with because they're in the playing mood.
Yeah. Oh, they'll love that.
Yeah. You guys be good. Yeah, they sleep about 16 hours a day, so I don't know if they actually wait for you coming home. They sleep and play. That's all they do. I've seen some real good pictures or videos of cats chasing away pit bulls.
I've seen them save a dog from a coyote.
Yeah.
A tiny little dog, and the cat's a pretty decent and feisty as anything, eh? And it gets rid of the coyote.
Cats are great fighters. They've got a lot of options.
Mm-hmm.
They've got the most options of most four-legged animals out there.
I've seen them let a cobra come right up to them face to face and not worry a bit about being bit. They just jump out of the way.
Yeah, no, they're fast. They're real fast. They are fast.
And it's scary. Like I found that scary anyway when they fight. The cats. It sounds like bloody murder.
Yeah, that's because it is. You got 20 claws in your mouth. Seriously, you seen their back legs going? That's to rip apart the stomach to kill the enemy.
Your kitty behind you is getting into some. It looks like it's getting into some Doritos or something.
Which one are you guys seeing? You seen this one
on the plates? Yeah.
Oh no, those are books. Those are leather-bound books right here on the wall.
Okay. Yeah.
No, that's Gandalf. He doesn't do anything too terrible ever. He's too wise.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Gandalf's the Gray. It's the little ones that get into problems. That and Ginger. And Ginger's asleep right now. She's trouble. And Harley's trouble. And the babies are trouble. 4 out of 7 are trouble. The other 3 are okay. He's one of the 3. It's okay.
Well, and that's the other thing on Broken 1010. If they've been declawed, they probably won't have any interest in the scratching pole, the scratching posts.
What the hell could a cat have done to you where you needed 37 stitches? I don't want to know if it's personal.
I'm thinking it must have jumped off of something and tried to cling onto her and just went right down the leg.
Still deep enough for stitches? I mean, I've got scratches. I got little scratches from jumping up and clawing into me and then falling off. But
Have you seen the video where the guy, I guess, was babysitting the cat for somebody, and he comes in, and every time he turns, that cat would jump on him? and he went flying into everything, turned everything over and everything. It's a real funny video on here. If you see it, if you ever see it, it's hilarious. He's going, ah, ah. He sounded like he was like a little girl or something. But that cat did not like him, and he would only wait until he turned his back. And he turned his back, he would jump on him. It was hilarious.
I think that's funny as shit. I had 2 Siamese as a very young child. At the same time, we had the Basenji, and we didn't have the Basenji for long either. But the 2 Siamese would wait on top of the curtains on the rod for my dad to come in from work, and they'd both jump on his head and attack him. Neither Siamese liked my dad. I think we had him for like a month, and he got rid of them sons of guns. His head was all scratched up. They really did some damage to him. I like the cats. All right, well, I think I'm on it. We've been going for 3 hours and 35 minutes. I appreciate everyone being here.
Yeah, all them people that left back after the interview you had with the guy, they missed out. We had some pretty good discussion here on some stuff.
It's whatever. It's no big
Especially,
deal.
they'll probably come back and watch, but especially JM filling us in on Canada. Because, when I had him on to the interview before, that was too far off the subject with what we were talking about. I didn't get to cover that stuff, but I've been curious about it. So.
Yeah, it's no better here in any way. In my opinion, the number one thing that is better here is it's a lower population density.
This is what I have to say about it.
So you're not on top of each other.
Potentially, 80% of our population is within 100 miles of the U.S. border.
Yeah.
Right, and the rest of Canada, Canada's geographically approximately the same size as the States. We've only got 10% of the population. 80% of it's right at the border. So all you got to do is go north more than 100 miles of the border, and you're starting to get into wide open country. And once you get up there, there's almost nobody.
I thought Canada was like twice the size the United States was.
No, it's about the same.
This is the one thing that's wrong with people when they think about retirement. They think, do I have enough? And then you don't need to be thinking about that. You need to open up a business and start making money.
Yep.
That's your retirement. As you get older, you get the privilege of choosing what kind of business you want to run and make money off of. That's the only difference.
I like being self-employed.
Don't ever stop. Don't ever stop making money. Once you stop, you're dead. Keep going. And that's the only thing I got to say to everybody.
Sounds good. Have a good night, everybody. Always great to see everyone
Be kind,
here.
helpful, and grateful. Thank you, Nicole and JM, and everyone in chat.
I'll see you, everybody.
Bye-bye.